Good afternoon, sports fans. It's Friendly Neighborhood Paul here, bringing you guys the next episode of Nostalgia on the Rocks, where myself and my lovely co-host, Probably Oliver, sit down and talk about the games of old, the games of new, and everything in between. Oliver, how are you doing this fine day?
I sat in a pub garden for the first time in almost a year today. I had a beer that was poured from an actual proper keg. It was cold. There was condensation on the outside. It made me feel human again. I feel human for the first time in a year. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good.
Love to hear it. And
That sounds like heaven.
Yep, and speaking of heaven, our very special guest is none other than the very funny, no matter what he tries to tell you, SuburbaniteSlob. How are you doing today, my man?
I'm doing good.
Thank you
So
for
it's been a morning.
slightly ruining your sleep schedule for this.
Oh, it's all right. I got to get used to it. This is what I get for working overnights like an idiot.
Hey man, I'm right there with you. I'm working overnights as well. Like, just the funny thing is, my overnights, start way earlier in the evening for everybody stateside because, well,
Yep.
being in the UK,
Time zones.
time zones, time is just a fictional construct. We don't really have to abide by it anymore. It's fine. But yet, welcome in everybody. So, start things off. SuburbaniteSlob. Who are you? For anybody who has no idea who you are.
I am a streamer over at twitch.tv/SuburbaniteSlob. I guess the easiest way to put it. Also do some YouTube stuff over at youtube.com/SuburbaniteSlob. Please go and subscribe there because I don't have a real URL and that doesn't work. So don't go there, but find it. You know how. I also dabble in stand-up comedy. By that means I go to a bar once a week and go to an open mic. I don't think that makes me a comedian yet, but I'm trying.
If you've gotten paid for it, then you're a professional comedian.
That
It's
I
like-
have not.
Okay.
They only let me do it because I buy drinks.
I pay them to go up there, actually. That's all right. Very nice, very nice. So, starting things off as we normally do for the uninitiated is, what are we drinking? So we're going to start off with the main man himself, probably Oliver. What are you drinking, my man?
It made its first appearance on the show 2 episodes ago. The episode with Norza.
Yep.
It's coming back this evening. It's Monkey Shoulder. It's
Yeah.
it's a very, very nice blended scotch. It is beautiful stuff. Typically I like to drink something new on the show, but money's tight. So we're
Yep.
going back to the Monkey Shoulder. Let's get that pop. Let's get that pop. Ooh,
Oh,
lovely stuff.
Oh,
It is
that
delicious
pop.
though, so I have no problem with doubling down on the Monkey Shoulder.
Very nice.
That'll do.
Now, Slob, I understand that obviously time zones permitting, you would be having a drink with us because I mean it's 5 o'clock somewhere. But what would you be drinking today?
If I didn't work later and I grabbed the bottles just because. So I got a nice whiskey from Minnesota. Usually this is from Panther Distillery, a nice local Minnesota distillery. Normally I drink their bourbon. Their bourbon is really good, but this was on sale. This is like a special edition. It's 123 proof, so it's a little bit higher than what I would normally just sip on if I was just gonna sip on something. It was on sale, so I got that. So if I was just sipping some hard liquor, it'd be that. Otherwise, I got some nice double IPAs in the fridge.
Nice.
Very nice.
Is usually what I have is a double IPA or like a session IPA if I want to get a little lower in the alcohol content and drink all night, which happens quite a bit.
To say, I've never heard of Minnesota whiskey, but now that I know it's 120 proof, I think I know why I haven't heard of Minnesota whiskey.
Like I said, that's a special bottle, so it's not all. I think what I normally drink is like 80 proof. So
Yeah, that's
it's
kind of like
not
your
that bad,
standard
but I saw
whiskey.
that and
Yeah.
that 21-year-old in me that was like, more alcohol, let's do it.
That's some hairs on your chest booze right there. That's
Yeah. The 31-year-old in me was like, that was a mistake the first time I had it.
I need to cut this. I need to cut this with something. There's two. I can't just drink this straight from the
Yep.
bottle.
I'm not that 21-year-old that used to drink Wild Turkey 101 straight and chase it with beer like an idiot and then vomit everywhere like Petey Piranha and Mario Golf.
That was a pull on so many different levels. I was gonna say the Wild Turkey 101. That takes me back. I've not bought Wild Turkey in a hot minute, just because every time I see it on the shelf, it's on the bottom, and I'm like, do I really want to reach down there? I really want to reach down. I was like, Jim Beam, like Devil's Cut, is normally like as far down as I want to go, and Jim Beam is actually like solid. I will stand by that. Jim Beam is a solid bourbon whiskey. Like, I enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
Wild Turkey, that's just, when you got nothing but like $17 in your bank account and you need that.
Exactly. When you want to cleanse your insides, Wild Turkey.
Now, this is, of course, if Wild Turkey ever wants to sponsor this podcast, by all means, I will shill out and buy the biggest bottle y'all got. I will drink it straight from the bottle. I don't give a shit. However, until that day, oof. And if you enjoy Wild Turkey, who hurt you? Who hurt you?
I don't think we have Wild Turkey over here. I can't say I'm familiar with this stuff.
So here's the thing, Oliver. What's gonna happen is, here's what's going to happen. Soon, when the UK is fully kind of opened back up and it's safer to travel, because I got both my shots. I'm like good as you can be. Heavy air quotes on that, to like move around and stuff. As soon as we are allowed to just kind of like go back to a relative state of normalcy, I want to do this show live, like both of us in one room.
Hell yeah.
Like, I'm just going to I'm not going to break down my whole setup, but I'm going to break down some of my stuff, and I'm just going to you. And we're just gonna do it. We're just gonna do it live in your house, and then that way I can just bring out every bottle of booze that I got, and that's what it's gonna be. It's just nostalgia. It's just gonna turn into the whiskey tasting episode.
Yeah, let's see how my fiance feels about that.
That's the thing. She's gonna be on the show. She has to be. She's the special guest, because then we get to talk to her about obviously her gaming history, but then also how she puts up with you on the daily basis.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to have that conversation. That's
Yeah. Oh, trust me. If we flip that, nope. Adele ain't here. Nah, she's working. She can't do it. Really? All right. Well, when she's not working, never. She's work all the time, 24/7. She's actually working. She's sleeping overnight in the store. That's how busy they are. Can't do it. It's impossible. And then me, I'm going with a lovely little Four Roses bourbon. Now, I apologize that my camera's flipped. Just as it is what it is. I can only do so much with Discord because it mirrors my image and yada yada yada. Blase blase excuse 1 through 7. But yeah, it's a lovely little Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. And
I was gonna say I don't think I've seen that in the States here, but it's Kentucky bourbon, so it's got to be.
Yeah, it's that's the thing. So we have ours. It comes imported, and I've actually got another. I got another one still in here. Like,
nice.
Now, am I gonna give this probably Oliver? Yeah, it's gonna end up showing up at his house in this cool little metal thing. Yeah, so it's still unopened. Packaging is still very much in there, as you could probably just hear. You get this nice little like tin box. So it's
nice. Very nice. Keep an eye out for that.
But yeah, it's very nice. I really love it. It's not, and the funny part is, this is a liter bottle. This was $20.
Nice.
Yeah, so it ticks every box. It's cheap. It's good, and it comes in and it's packaged nicely. And yes, I'm drinking it with Coke because fuck you, I'm an adult. I'll drink my whiskey how I want to drink my whiskey.
Yep.
I'm not over here. This is a bourbon. This isn't a 35-year Scotch. Like, I'm not.
Damn, I almost pulled out a mixer this evening. I was like, oh no, Paul will fucking slay me. Paul will like eat my bones if I bring out a mixer for this.
Here's the thing, right? Once upon a time, I was that guy. I was the guy who was like, how dare you? You're like, oh, you're mixing your whiskey? Ugh, like, how dare you? I've now come to the terms that like you're drinking it. Like, if you try to like mix if you hand me like a 20-year Scotch and you mix it for me and you expect me to drink it, then I might be like, no, thank you.
Mm.
No, like hard pass. Thank you, but no. However, if you're drinking it, that's on you. Like your taste buds, your taste buds. If you want to run and grab one, by all means, I will.
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
good.
All right. So
I could do the heat anyway.
be with the heat. All right. Some like it hot and some sweat when the heat is on. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody else, and every non-binary, thank you guys so much for being here. Cheers to you.
Yes.
I cheers with water, but that's like bad luck or something, right?
Yeah, it's bad luck, dude. I told you, man. Just get a coffee cup. Like, just get an opaque cup, and then just.
I don't want to be a
that.
faker.
You could have still put something in it. Like, you could have had like a Coke or your Mountain Dew or whatever else you got.
Well, I guess I got water, but that's bad luck. I don't know.
All right, I understand, and I appreciate you just being like, no, I'd rather not risk this bad luck. I still got to go to work tonight. I can't walk around with bad luck on my conscience. Can't be doing that. All right, so starting us off, because ladies and gentlemen, if you guys didn't know, Nostalgia on the Rocks, games of old, games new, and everything in between. So let's talk about those games in between. What are we playing? SuburbaniteSlob, what are you playing right now? Or have been playing recently, I guess.
I finally dug deep in the backlog, and I've been going through Control.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's a fantastic game.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
That game has done what more games need to do, where there's no ammo. I'm sick of ammo management in video games. Like, I understand the gun has a fire rate, I need to reload, but don't make me walk over corpses and pick up ammo. I'm over it at this point. Just give me, even when I play Halo, like when I spawn into a multiplayer game, just give me infinite ammo for the battle rifle. Why am I running out of ammo? It just doesn't make sense to me anymore. And even when I play like Doom Eternal, I'm like, why do I have ammo for these guns? How come when I kill a demon, it drops? Why is it just carrying around ammo for me? I don't understand why this fucking demon from hell has bullets in its pocket. Just let me have, I understand I need to reload and I have a fire rate and that's fine. But there's nothing worse than, oh, I'm out of ammo. I guess I'll walk face first into this guy so I can pick up that ammo at his feet and probably die. But yeah, otherwise, Control in general, fantastic game.
I just love it
It's an
'cause
old game, so I need to bring something new to the discussion.
I just laughed because it was just like you starting that off was very much like a Seinfeld bit. Like, airline food? What's up with that?
So I couldn't
Fully
figure out
expecting some heavy
the game
bass
so
in
much. I
there,
was like,
like
why do I like this game so much? I'm like, because I'm not constantly running out of freaking ammo.
Oh,
So every
Control
single
is
player game, I
so
like
good.
it. And then, if you want to take it up a notch and play it again on the higher difficulty, it's like, yeah, the enemies are a little harder. Also, there's less ammo, so just figure it out, I guess. It drives me nuts.
See, Control is so good with that though, like, because Control starts off really difficult, like until like you get yourself like a couple of upgrades for the service weapon and like get yourself like some like perks and shit. Like it starts off hard, but then when it like levels out, you feel so powerful. And yeah, I don't think the ammo thing, like I never really clocked that as such. But yeah, that is the fact that you are the only thing that's stopping you is how quick your gun is recharging. Man, that game is good.
And
It's
the
a good
perks
game.
and the upgrades for the guns all make sense. And now, like, I'm almost thinking of playing Outriders now just because of the way Control works with making a build and stuff. Like, I got a great build now where I got the shotgun part of the gun that if I have the shield up, it reloads faster. So now I have my pistol out, I shoot till that's out, and then I switch to the shotgun to reload it, pull up a shield, walk towards some people, I get done with the shield, I throw it at somebody, then I'm reloaded, then I pull out the shotgun, I pop them in the face. It just feels so good.
What are you playing it on?
Xbox Series X.
Nice. Yeah, I got the like the Ultimate Edition when it was free on PS Plus for PS5, and like I'd already played that game on PS4, completed it, platinumed it, loved every second of it. As soon as the Ultimate Edition came out, I did it again. I completed it, I platinumed it again because it just, and that game was such a joy to play. And like on like current gen / next gen, it looks so good and runs so smoothly. Like that game is, that was my game of the year 2019, and honestly, like playing it again might be one of my favorite games of quote unquote last generation. Like, the game is just fun. It's just fun.
Just keeps going. I think my only gripe with it is the map is a little
Oh, yeah.
cumbersome and a little hard to navigate. But I mean, what they do and they just every gameplay system they just simplify. They're like, yeah, you can just fast travel just about wherever once you find it. It's fine. Don't worry about it. And I'm still, I don't know, I'm probably 6 to 10 hours in, somewhere in there,
Mhm.
and I'm still getting upgrades, and I'm like, what more can I do? Like, now I just got the where I can pretty much fly, and I'm like, I did
Mhm.
not expect to be able to pretty much fly in this video game. And I'm teleporting around, and it's one of those, they give you the abilities. You don't have to use them all to win fights. There's not fights that are specific to abilities. They're all optional, but they're all there if you want them.
Oh,
I
fair
love
enough.
it. Have you played that yet, Paul?
No, I have not. I have not played Control. I have seen
Spoiler
it
alert,
played.
you can fly.
Well, no, that's the thing. I've seen a handful of different streamers playing it, and I'm like, oh yeah, that looks cool. Nah, I'm good. I get it.
The story, I will say the
You get
story's
you
not
get
grabbing
like
me
you
as
get
much
like
as I thought so
superpowers.
far, but
Yeah, I was talking with Hellsman Gaming, and he was saying like
Mhm.
he played Alan Wake, really loved it, and then when he was jumping in Control, he was like, it feels good, but the story isn't quite grabbing me like Alan Wake did. So he's
yeah.
he's still playing it because he's still having fun with it, but
I think the story with Control, there is a lot of like ancillary information that you can like pick up and read,
mhm.
but there are thousands of things to pick up and read, and it could have yeah, there was a better way to tell its story, because I mean, no spoilers, Slob, if you're playing through it at the moment, like, but you will not get everything you want out of the story of that game unless you put some time into actually reading all the lore and stuff like that. But like, it could have told its story better, but just the universe itself is just a really fun world to be in, like a very very X-Filesy. Really really good fun. Good game.
Which is like for me as a player and as somebody who kind of like enjoys stories and kind of does my own very low key version of like storytelling. If you like if for them to actually fully understand or grasp or get like a bigger deal out of the story, if you have to have them sit and like read these little notes all the time, then I can't, like, to me that doesn't mean that the story is told well.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one thing when it's like, oh, you pick this up and you're getting more backstory on a character, or like, oh, well, they talked about this character. He's somebody in the lore. He did this and this. Like, this is like some little backstory to it, or like, oh, they're explaining like how this weapon came to be, or like who founded it, and this, that, and the other. But they're all like filler things. If you want to explore more, if you want to get more out of the story, you can then go and do these things. But like, we can still tell you the whole story, and you can still get it just by running through and doing the objectives and the cutscenes and all that kind of stuff. The moment I have to sit there and stop the game to then go into the index and read every like journal entry by guy, by all the people, it's like, all right, I guess, like, I get what you're doing here, but like, it's kind of take me out of the gameplay I am.
Yeah,
Good that it's
it's
there, but they should sprinkle a little more in organically. And it
Mhm.
does do the thing I hate too, where it's got little audio logs on the table. You go up and listen to those, and as soon as you walk away, it gets quieter and stops. And it's like,
yeah, that's the
I don't
worst.
want to stand here and listen to this. I think it goes into your journal at some point. I think you might be able to go back and listen to them
Yeah,
if you want, but it's like, just I don't want to stand here. I'm gonna be
let's
moving on. It's like
like
I'm sure there's something cool in that, but goodbye.
like just have her pick up a Walkman. Just have her pick up the
Mhm.
Walkman, pop the little audio thing in there, and then she can just walk around with it. It's fine. I
Yeah,
understand it's a video game. We can make it work. Like, just come on.
it's a great blueprint game. I think, like, I don't know if Remedy will ever make a Control 2. Like, they're not really in the, I don't think they've ever really made a, a straight out sequel before. But
Mm-hmm.
Max Payne 2, I think, was the only one. I think they've actually, wait, was Remedy Max Payne? Yeah, Remedy was Max Payne.
Yeah.
Originally, yeah, like they don't do sequels, but I think if they did do a sequel for Control, like the bones are there in Control 1 for Control 2 to be
Yep.
like a 10 out of 10. Like it's they've got that gameplay loop down pitch perfect, and yeah, as Slub says, there's like a few, like, yeah, the audio log stuff, the fact that story is told in text logs that you have to like go out of your way to read. There's minor annoyances, but yeah, that game is just fun. It's a fun game.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't I thought the Medium was like the sequel to that game, or is that just another game that was in that same engine?
No, Remedy's Control is Remedy's last game. Like
And who the hell
they've
did
not done
Medium?
anything since.
I think the Medium was somebody different.
Yeah, Medium was done by the I can't remember the name of the studio, but the Blair Witch guys.
That's
Okay.
Who did
Okay, because I think it was just a lot of people were, I guess, drawing similarities to it. Then I guess, or like,
yeah,
yes.
I've not played the Medium. I can't.
Well, that was the thing. I guess, like, I heard them talked about in the same breath. I assumed it was like they did Control and then they moved over and did Medium, which was kind of in a similar, like, weird, like, sci-fi paranormal kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Psychic lady.
Yeah, psychic lady does psychic lady stuff. And
Yep. Solving puzzles and being rad.
Alright. So other than Control, is that all you've been playing, or have you been dabbling? I know another game you've been playing because I saw you streaming it. I saw you getting real mad and real happy at the same time playing that game.
The old Pac-Man 99.
Yep.
Oh my god, that game is fun.
How is it?
It's fun. It's really fun. I mean, it's the same if you played Tetris 99 or Mario 35, it's the same thing. So there's not much more to it, but I just love Pac-Man. I ended up buying an arcade stick just for the game, which doesn't play
Nice.
super well, but it might have been a mistake.
Which backfired immediately, but it's fine.
Yeah. But yeah, it's great. It's just fast paced. I mean, in terms of what I love about Pac-Man, because you really can't beat Pac-Man. You know, it's like classic Tetris too. It's a perfect game. And the more they try to iterate on it with different Pac-Man, there was like Pac-Man 256 that came out a while ago. That's like, hey, it's Pac-Man, but some stuff. And every time they add stuff, it never feels good. But this is just Pac-Man, and then, just like Tetris, as people eat ghosts, it kicks the ghosts over to your screen, and these little Pac-Man that can slow you down. Otherwise, they turn into red Pac-Man that can just kill you in one hit. And so it just gets chaotic and crazy. And it's I think I've gotten one win, and I like to think I'm good at Pac-Man, so it's hard, but it's a lot of fun.
I was gonna say Oliver is the resident Tetris guru, and the guy who like has sunk more time into Tetris 99 than I think I have ever seen anyone sink into Tetris 99.
Currently have 68 wins in Tetris 99.
Damn.
I love Tetris, and Tetris 99 is my favorite. It's probably my favorite Tetris game. Like, it just feels so good, and it's so pick up and play, and like just that whole like battle royale concept works so well for it. I never got around to playing Mario 35, but then I don't really have the nostalgia for those like 2D Marios.
Yep.
I didn't play them until much later. I only played Mario Brothers 3 for the first time about 2 years ago. Like, so I've not got that nostalgia that led me to Mario 99. Sort of still Mario 35, whatever it was. Sort of similar with Pac-Man. I was never a big Pac-Man guy, but I think I do want to download it, and I do want to try it out, because I can imagine if they've nailed that kind of battle royale format in the same way they did for Tetris, I can imagine Pac-Man 99 could be a lot of fun. Like,
yeah, it's the same as for Tetris, where you're just worried about you. Like, just play the game, and you're pretty much against yourself. There's just stuff coming at you in different increments. It does get a little like Tetris 99. I believe there's only the one D-pad, right, for different people to attack. Is that correct, or is there two?
No, it's just the one. It's you can either choose. You can choose directly who you're attacking. You can do it at random. You can do whoever's closest to death, and whoever's had the most kills.
Yeah.
Like, it's So yeah, there's kind of it's a 4-way choice as to who you're attacking in Tetris.
Yeah, now Pac-Man 99, they added a second one, which kind of affects your game now, but I haven't found a reason to not just play on normal, because I think there's normal, there's speed, which speeds everything up, which just makes it harder, so I don't understand why anybody would do that. And then there's like train, which is there's like these little ghosts that you get, and they make a train of ghosts so that when you eat ghosts, you're sending more ghosts. But I really haven't figured out the
Right.
differences of that yet, and it just seems like a little convoluted. You don't need to use it, so I mean it's there, I suppose, if you want to use it. But other than that, it's just like Tetris 99, and just fun as hell.
Yeah, I haven't played either of those. I've watched both of you play it. Nope. Nope. That is such on a level that I'm not even close to. Like, I'm decent at some video games. Slob, just seeing you like run around doing Pac-Man, just like, all right, so we got to go here. Like the sheer strategy you have while playing Pac-Man, I'm like, no, I've never had that. I've never.
You're gonna give us 2D nerds some of that battle royale adrenaline, because we can't. I can't get that from the Warzone. I'm too bad at it.
Yeah, I guess that's the
So to
thing.
get
It's like
that
I
with
get
a
it for the
Pac-Man
first
game
person
feels
shooter
good.
stuff, and I can kind of like I can still get that like get that like moment. Like the other two, I'm like I'd lose too fast. I'd be out immediately. That's like when you get shot out of the sky in Warzone. Whenever you're dropping in and somebody's just shoot you and you die, it's like, all right. Well, that was fun. Run it back.
98th once in Pac-Man 99, and that did not feel good. I think that was one of the first games with the joystick, and it just I did not have it dialed in yet. I didn't know what I was doing, and I ran straight into somebody. I was like, that feels bad, man.
Just sad
That
trombone.
feels
Wah,
bad.
wah, wah, wah.
I was like, thank God somebody died faster than me somehow. I don't know how it's possible.
It disconnected. All right, so Oliver, what have you been playing recently, my man?
I wanted to touch quickly on Oddworld Soulstorm, which might be lost to yourselves if you're not PlayStation guys, because I think it's exclusive to PlayStation at the moment, and it's this month's free PS Plus game, PS5. But I wanted to touch on it. Like, I don't know if either of you have any history with the Oddworld games, but I wanted to touch on this because it's a fun story. So the first one of the Oddworld games, which was a game called Abe's Odyssey, that came out when I was 6 or 7, maybe, and we had it at home. Like, my mom and dad had got it like on the PS1, and my dad fell in love with that game to the point that my dad used to let me stay up like after my bedtime massively, like late into like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning for a 7-year-old kid, so my dad could get my help in like passing some of these levels in the Oddworld games, which are hard to like. You play this little alien who's trying to break out of his the factory that he is a slave in. But he's not just trying to break out; he's also trying to break out all the other slaves in this factory. They're all the same like alien race, and then it turns out midway through that game that Abe, the titular character, is actually he's the heir to the throne of the god legacy of like this alien race sort of thing. So he gets all these incredible like magical powers that are just. It's incredibly violent, incredibly fun, incredibly silly, but just brilliant. And they've just brought out a new one, which is the first mainline Oddworld game, and I think about since the original Xbox, I think was the last one. Like, and it is really, really good. Like, it is exactly what the game should be, in that it is pretty much exactly the same as those games were in the 90s, but it looks so much prettier, and there's just so many quality of life improvements over it, so it feels like a true sequel to them. They're not trying to make any like mad, like insane gimmick now that consoles are as powerful as they are. They've just made it look incredibly pretty. And it is a fun game. It's I don't know if I'll have the patience to stick it out to the end, because it is one of those like incredibly difficult puzzle games that will stump you on a single screen for hours at a time.
No, thank you.
And that
But
is
I'm
2D,
gonna try.
right? Kind of
Yeah, it's
side scrollery, 2D.
yeah,
thingy.
it's a 2D side scroller basically. Like it's just so much fun. It's so much fun from start to finish. Speaking about that, like I mean, I'm guessing I'm falling on deaf ears on that one. So instead, I'll talk about the fact that I'm massively addicted to Fall Guys again. Fall Guys is just fun, and season 4 is so good. It's so good.
Yeah, I haven't heard a whole lot of complaints for the newest season, and yeah, I've yet to jump into it. Fall Guys is a game that is very similar to like Mario Kart or Mario Party or anything like that, where it's like I'm not like, man, I'd love to play some Fall Guys, but if somebody is like, hey, a couple of us are playing some Fall Guys, you want to jump in? Yeah, sure, I'll boot it up and go and goof around for a bit. I'll get mad at these other beans and then just be like, all right, cool, well, we're losing, so I'm just gonna bully this guy real quick. Time to throw Santa Claus off as Bone Jangles would do. It's April. Why is Santa Claus here? Nope. Goodbye. Just throwing those people off the thing.
Damn it, Bone Jangles is the best. It's coming to Xbox soon, though. I'm excited for that.
Oh yeah.
I've dabbled with it on PC, and I'd love to play more, but I just have trouble booting up games on the PC. So when it's on Xbox, I'm sure I'm gonna play a lot more.
I think it like as well. Like I'm hoping with it being under Epic now, like and with the way Rocket League works and Fortnite works, when it comes out on Xbox, I'm almost certain it's going to be crossplay as well, and I think that's going to be a really big boom for that game because I mean they hit it at the park like from the gate. Like season 1 was excellent, season 2 season 2 especially was bad, and it's such a shame because it halted the momentum of that game so quickly when season 2 came out. But season 3 was good. It wasn't great. It wasn't as good as it needed to be, but it was good. But season 4, I think, is as good as it needs to be. And so I think a lot of people are kind of coming back to Fall Guys, and when it comes out on Xbox and Switch, which I think I'm assuming it was a 1-year exclusivity sort of deal. So I'm assuming sort of August, September time it should be
summer.
Everywhere. And,
I'm not sure if they gave a date yet. For sure, this summer sometime.
Just give me fucking cross progression. Give me crossplay. Give me cross progression. Don't make me have to keep buying the god blessed skins. All the other stuff. I understand if you have like Kratos. If you have a Kratos bean, that's gonna be a PlayStation exclusive bean. You can't play it on Xbox. Sure, whatever. Send it. I don't care. Destiny does that shit all the time when they had the cross progression in that game. Like when I moved over to Xbox from PlayStation, it was just like, yeah, that armor doesn't work here. Like, what? Like, oh yeah, you can't use that. So here's like level 1 armor. So that's why your light level is like 300 points lower than you thought it was. And when you didn't realize that and jumped into a game, and you're like, why is my armor gray? I don't understand.
That's unacceptable for a game like Destiny.
But I mean,
where the
Epic
game is
tend
about
to be
progression.
pretty good for stuff like that, though. Epic, like I think Rocket League does cross progression. I think Fortnite does as well. Like,
I don't even know. I haven't jumped into Fortnite in so long. I was one of those jabronis that had like I had 3 accounts between like the PC, the Xbox, and the PlayStation, and I had different skins on different things, and I'm like, I don't know if I can merge all these things into one anymore. Like I don't know. I've had to use so many different emails. I don't know if these things will talk to each other anymore. I just kind of I let that ship sail.
No, I'm hoping, like I said, I'm hoping like it coming everywhere is another boost to it because it's just a lot of fun. It's got that Nintendo magic to it. It's just a joy to play, and I'm really enjoying like being back into it, and I'm finally good. I'm finally good at it. I've been getting crowns. I've won. I've like every night that I've played it in the last couple of weeks, I've won at least one game a night, and it feels so good. Like I'm
jealous. I still have never actually legitimately won a game.
Now I will say we are gonna have to put.
Why I don't play it more. It just beats me down every time, and I get so close, and I just can't do it.
Yeah, we are gonna have to put a little asterisk by that because those are PlayStation crowns. So as everyone knows, it's easier to win on PlayStation than it is.
Okay, keep telling yourself that. Keep
No,
telling yourself that.
I
Count
was
your
just,
crowns.
I've got, I think that's like one of the first wins. I think I was doing like a long stream and I made a joke about how, well, if Bad Child can get wins on PlayStation, anybody can get wins on PlayStation. And then it took me like a hot minute to get it. And then I finally got it. I was like, see? Super easy. First try. Those other ones didn't count. I wasn't trying on those. I didn't want to crush these other poor kids' spirits. Oh God.
What about you, Paul? What have you been playing?
I've kind of been bouncing around between a few different things. So like my main game that I've been playing right now, or the two main games I should say, the first one is Ghost of Tsushima, which just like knock it off. Like that game is so god blessedly good looking. And I'm playing on a like basic PS4. And this game looks phenomenal. Like just absolutely gorgeous. I don't understand why, don't understand how, it just is. And like when I originally started the game off, I played it in Kurosawa mode, which is kind of like the old like samurai like black and white esque mode. Which there it looks phenomenal. But then as soon as I turned the color on, I was like, I can't go back. I can't go back. This game is too goddamn pretty. Like they hit you with such vibrant colors, and every area that you go into has like these different like aesthetics. Like you go into one spot and it's just like golden leaves everywhere. And so when you hit when you swipe up on the touchpad to get like show the objective marker, which is just the wind points you in a wet direction, which I love so much because it's such a minimalistic hub. And so like the wind's just blowing, and then it's not just like, oh well, here are the lines that show you where to go. No, it picks up little bits and pieces of the leaves and actually like blows those around, and it's just it. The game looks phenomenal. The story so far is pretty good. Like I'm in Act 2. I've put probably about 10 hours into the game. Like I've been running probably closer to 12 to 16, but it was, I've been I've been doing a lot of the side stuff, but like the combat feels great. The story is solid. The voice acting, because I have it on English, because you can have it like with Japanese voice actors with English dubs, but I have English subtitles and English voice actors because I can't tell if a Japanese voice actor is good or bad. I can't tell. Like there's no. Some people that's like the whole dubbed subbed thing. It's like, well obviously subbed is better. It's like you don't know that. You have no idea if that's a good voice acting. You have no idea.
This dude could totally be phoning it in.
It's like that guy could be just bad line delivery, but you have no idea because you don't speak Japanese. So
doing the Japanese equivalent of you killed my dad. I'm gonna come and get you now.
They could be like as bad as the Outriders voice acting, and I will stand by that. Outriders voice acting, not good. Not good. No disrespect to anybody who worked on that game, who did the voice acting for that game. I don't know if it's the writing. I don't know if it was the directing, kind of like how Peter Dinklage first Ghost in Destiny 1 was a little flat at times. It's a wizard from the moon. It's like, wait, what? Like that's where we're at? That's the line. That's the one you went with. And so it's but yeah, like Ghost of Tsushima has just been phenomenal. And I've been really enjoying it. And then the other game, just sticking with that, that PlayStation stuff. Goddamn Bloodborne. Goddamn Bloodborne. It is phenomenal. I really enjoy the game. I have been fortunate enough to have both Beard and the Hair and its Purger guiding me through that game. And when I say guiding, I don't mean like they're telling me like how to beat the bosses. They're just like, all right, you need to head this way. It's like, I did this thing, I don't know where to go. It's like, all right, cool. You want to backtrack and go this way, and then that will get you to the next area that you need to get to. Because otherwise, if I didn't have them, I would probably fucking hate that game. Because the amount of times where you could just get lost, and I did at one point, because I didn't have any of them for like an hour and a half, and I just got lost in an area, and I died a few times, and I was like, where do I go? And they're like, oh yeah, dude, you don't need to be here. Like, you're too low level to be in this area. I was like, why did everybody tell me this thing?
Nothing's worse in a video game than thinking you're going the right way and then just getting your skull smashed in. And it's like, I don't know where else to go. So I think I need to be here, but it hurts so bad. And I don't know if I'm underpowered or if I'm just bad at this game. Should I just shut it off forever? What's happening?
Yeah, that's what another thing that's funny is like I've been making like good progress in that game to the point where they're like, yeah, I honestly didn't expect you to blow through this game that easily. Like I've killed I've gotten lucky with a couple bosses, and I will say lucky with a couple bosses of like just dropping them like second, third try, and like somebody will hop into chat and just be like, yeah, I spent a week on that guy. I was like, oh wow. And then like Mikey Kirsch, friend of the show, he he talked about how like there was a certain area where all it is this area filled with snakes, and they poison you, and like some of them can like spray poison, and it's
Forbidden
just
Woods.
yeah, it's a fucking shit show. Absolute nightmare. Probably one of the worst areas in the game. I won't say the worst because I haven't finished all the areas in the game, and there's a lot of bad areas in the game. But
it's if it's not the first, it's the second worst area in the game.
yeah,
There's one other area that I think is the area you might be in now.
fuck,
If I'm familiar where you are, like
I don't want to.
I think it's the area you're in now, which is the Nightmare Frontier.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's they're interchangeable, those two areas, as far as
sounds like a
just
lovely
absolute
place to
shit
vacation.
shows.
Oh, there
It's,
was
yeah.
there is like
You've never been to the Nightmare Frontier? It's lovely. Like
there are
it's
so
have
many
a cabin there.
there's so many things in that game where it's just like, oh yeah, it's like the castle of ill will or some shit like that. And it's just like, oh yeah, you gotta go to the castle. I'm sorry, what? That one. The castle of ill will. Oh, I'm sorry, so you want me to cross the forbidden forest. Got it. Oh, you want me to go to the town of the unseen. All right, cool. Oh, you want me to walk through the fucking meat grinder XXL? No, I'm not going through that. Like, no, I don't think so.
They named it that because they don't want visitors.
Yeah. It's like they might as well have just called this town Stay the Fuck Out. All right? Oh, I got to go clear out. Please go away before we murder your face. All right, yeah, sure. Why not?
Back to Half-Life.
Is this your first Souls?
Yes.
Like,
Well, it's not my first touched into like Soulsborne games. I played I'm blanking on what it is. Dark Souls. Good lord. Dark Souls 2. I played that for a bit, enjoyed it. Unbeknownst to me, I wasn't supposed to. And then I played Dark Souls 3 and had fun with that game for a little bit. But I've never actually like beat the games. I've put a couple hours into it. I've gotten decently far into them. But this one was like, I was told I need to play this game. So I was like, all right, we'll play this game. Which is then how we got also deep into that. So between those two games, and then Outriders have been goofing with.
I'm not being like on Bloodborne. I'm not being hyperbolic when I say that Bloodborne is probably my favorite game of all time. Like, that game is just it gets its hooks into you and does not let go. And just the sound design in that game is incredible. The soundtrack is insane. Just every area looks so just wet and nasty. Like, it's just
so moist. Like, wait, what?
That game is just, it's incredible. I'm so glad you're enjoying it, Paul. So glad. It's a very good game.
Yeah, it was. I can. It's just. Yeah, I'm enjoying the game, and I do understand why some people enjoy it. But like, there's sometimes like they're talking about stuff that I need to go do to get the proper ending, to get the the real ending, and I'm like, I need to do what? I need to.
You've got to eat 3 umbilical cords. What's weird about that?
Yep, there it is.
I don't know if that was a joke, if that's real.
Nope,
but
that is a real.
No, that is real. That is a
thing.
You need
I
to
have
eat 3 umbilical cords.
I have 2 of the 3, and I was like, they were very much adamant on like, hey, you got to go to get this one and this one because you can miss one of these, and so if you miss one, then you won't be able to get the proper ending. So get these now before we start pressing on, because now I'm at the point where I have one more boss, the final boss, and then the 5 DLC bosses. So I was told, all right, so we're just starting the DLC next time, and I was like, I guess. And what I heard was the DLC bosses are worse than the main game bosses. So I was like, oh, good. So all that like momentum I had and that like Yeah, I can totally do this. I'm about to start getting punched in the teeth. Dope. Awesome sauce. That's what I want to hear. And then
First, you
aside
gotta
from
get some
those two,
umbilical cords and
yeah,
beer bong some blooded demons through the umbilical cord or whatever.
essentially,
This game sounds
essentially,
insane.
it is. And so besides those two, dabbled in Outriders. I've been playing that off stream because I don't want to subject people to that game more than I need to. Just because that game is fun, the gameplay's fun, the story is bleh. But like it looks good, it plays fun. That's all I'm gonna say about Outriders. The other game,
I've been debating getting Outriders. To be fair,
if
like
you have it,
it's on Game Pass.
you got Game Pass, pick it up. Like that's the easiest way to put it. Like I would not drop $60 on that game. Like sorry, not sorry.
Mm.
Like I would not drop $60 on it, but I definitely would, pick it up on Game Pass, give it a shot. And then the other game is goddamn Overwatch. Goddamn Overwatch. I bit hard back into that game. And we did so the NTO, the new Twitch order. They do tournaments every now and again. Yeah, fucking cue the music.
For life.
So like they do tournaments every now and again. So they've done like an Apex, they've done Fall Guys, they've done this and that. So this time they did Overwatch on PC. We have 4 teams of 6. Last night we had, or this morning for me, was Team Beard in the Hair versus Team Horror Stones, aka Reagan. I was on Team Horror Stones. Team Beard in the Hair had Norza, friend of the show. That man, turns out, has 4 Smurf accounts in Overwatch. He has a platinum, a gold, a silver, and a bronze. What? Why? But why though?
He's familiar with the game, then, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and so it's like
he's dabbled.
Yeah, and then unfortunately, one of our players, because one of our other players, in the UK, 5 a.m. kind of a tough call time for most people, unlike me, who just doesn't care about their sleep cycle, and so they were not unable to make it. So we were able to pull somebody else in who was a disgusting Hanzo, which helped us win. And that got down to, it was the best of 5, and we ended up winning 3-1. And God, that was some of the most fun I've had playing Overwatch. Is just like sitting there, getting into it, and like I've played Overwatch quite a bit. Like I played on the PlayStation, I played on the Xbox. Like I love that game, and the difficulty of wanting to just go, yes, let's fucking go. But you're at 5 to 6 in the morning, and my wife is asleep, and I don't feel like getting hit in the back of the skull with a brick. So I'm just like,
Stop yelling about your disgusting Hanzo. I'm trying to sleep.
Well, no, it's not even that. I was like, so I tank, tank life. You can't see it, but there's Reinhardt back there. He's my main tank. So I have him and Orisa. And I made the joke to the team. I was like, look, I am shield with gun or I am shield with hammer. That is how you utilize me. I can play support. I can kind of fuck around in DPS, but I'm typically tank. That's what I do. I run it. And of course, Noza, what does he run? Tank. Who's his main tank? Reinhardt. Needless to fucking say, I was like, great. So my whole job is to try to cancel him out. Awesome. It's like whenever it's like, back in the 90s being told, hey, you're guarding Jordan. Cool. Am I going to get any help? We're going to try. Okay. All right. And so like there was times where I got the drop on him like every now and again. Like nothing felt better than when you would do like a charging thing at him and I'd be able to pin him and like kill him. I was like, Norse is down. All right, bully the rest of the team. They lost one of their tanks. Bully the rest of the team. But man, when him and another person were just like combo wombo, like as soon as one person I'd have by themselves and be like, oh, the other one would round the corner and be like, like fuck. It was tough. It was a tough match, but it was a lot of fun. We ended up raising, I think, $250 for the anti-Asian hate crime. I forget.
Very nice.
Yeah, and so we end up raising $250 this week. Next week we have the Jabberjaws taking on the Scooter Cannons. and which I wish was which is like obviously Jabberjaw and Scooter Cannon, but I was like, no, those are just team names. Those are just team names at that point.
Are you
And
cutting
then
wrestling promos for this thing or what? 'Cause that sounds like
I'm
it's
not
asking for
gonna
it.
lie. I told them that's what I'm gonna do for like the finals because we've talked about like getting like me just shoutcasting because we're doing custom matches. We can just do spectator modes.
Mhm.
So I was like, I just want to be in the booth. I'll bust out the suit jacket and I'll just be sitting in here and we'll go with it. Like we'll get somebody else to stream because it's like 3 a.m. I don't really know if I want to stream at that hour, but we might
Mhm.
because, like I said, I hate myself and sleep schedules, and so we might just do that. But yeah, it's definitely some stuff that like when we get down to the finals because next week they play, and then the week after that we're gonna have the 2 losers play for third and fourth, and then the
Mhm.
2 winners will be playing for first and second. So I was like, I want to cut a wrestling promo. I want to
Yep.
be like Team Reagan. Here we go, Horror Stone, and like just like a clip of her playing, you know, God, I'm blanking on her name now. It's like TF or Fee. No, Fee. That's what it was. It was like, and Fee, who had never played Diva before yesterday, and then got a quad kill with a Diva bomb to like clutch up and have us win the first match. It was the most ridiculous thing because she was like, I hit it. I didn't think I did it right, so I ran away, and then 4 people died. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. Take the payload. Cap it. So it's just like we're just gonna cut a wrestling promo with it, or like I would love to, and then just run with it like that because it's for charity, so it's fine. It's all love. It's all just friendly competition, except everyone wants to win and no one wants to
Yeah.
lose, and we will shit talk like a mother lover.
Your shit talking is for charity.
Yeah, shit talk for charity. That
Yep.
God damn it, dude. That's got to be in that. The next charity thing we do is just shit talk for charity. That's what we got to call that. That's what we got to call it. All right, now that we've spent about an hour and a half just on what we've played and drinking.
I want to touch on one more game quick too that I
Go
forgot
hard,
about.
go hard. I don't give a shit. This is gonna be the longest episode. I think that's okay. I think we're on par with that.
I'm sorry. I'm very talented at taking things off the rails. If there's a demo out now for Metroid Prime 2D on PC, anybody that's a Metroid fan, download it before Nintendo takes it down. You can see. I know there's been articles about it on IGN and stuff, but look into it. It's gorgeous. It's all pixel art, and it's gorgeous. I played through the demo. It's got some like lore stuff that can take you a few hours. Otherwise, I got through it in a couple hours. So the demo was longer than I expected for a free game. And for a Metroid 2D game, it was keyboard and mouse only. And I was expecting to hate it because I tried to connect a controller right away. It's like, nah, you got to use keyboard and mouse. That sucks. But playing a 2D Metroid game, keyboard mouse, where you can aim instead of being the 8-way 45-degree angles, where you can aim
Yep.
at any angle, it feels great. It's gorgeous.
Where
Check it
can
out.
they download that?
If you just Google Metroid Prime 2D, it should pop up. I should have got a link ready, but
Yeah, Google it, you nerds. Gosh, do it yourself.
I am
Thank you.
interested. I am very interested. Metroid Prime was my absolute fucking jam. So
Yeah.
so what, this is what a 2D remake of the Metroid game. I'm guessing
Yes.
ooh
Yeah, so
damn, that
it's
sounds good.
Metroid Prime, so it starts off just like you don't actually play like the space station like you do in the beginning of Metroid Prime. It kind of goes right past that, and then you land, and then it's just like a regular Metroid game. You just land your ship, and then you explore from there, side scrolling. You explore the map as much as you can, then you get. I think you can get like 6 power ups in the demo. So like it takes a little bit, and like I was getting lost, and I mean, for how small the map is, the way you kind of have to figure out how to get the power ups is interesting enough to keep you going. So hopefully they get to make the rest of the game, but I'm sure Nintendo will shut it down by then.
Mhm. Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Nintendo gonna Nintendo.
But it
They got-
surprised me. You don't need an emulator or anything. Just go to the website, download it, boot it up, the executable. It just works.
Oh yeah. So, I mean, more power to you. Play the games you want to play, how you want to play them, before the people who actually own the game rights take that shit down.
Yeah.
And then it's just gonna be called like you just throw like No, it's not Metroid. It's Metloid. Metloid Slime 2D. There we go.
I was streaming it, and like their PR, their head of PR was in my chat. Like, he's just popping around chat talking to people, and he was telling me about it. And I was like, I really hope you guys get to finish this game, but like, you are aware of how Nintendo treats these things. Like, I hope, I was like, are you sure you haven't considered just rebranding it and changing the skin to be, like Seamus instead of Samus or something? And of course it won't be as good, but like the mechanics are there. It feels great. I want to play this game. Please don't let them kill it.
Oh man, let's hope they stick around.
So play it while you can. That's what I'm saying.
Play it while you can. Now, we're gonna. So normally on this show, we talk typically about video games because it's Nostalgia on the Rocks, the games of old, games of new. However, nostalgia is not just limited to video games. No. It also leads into, well, for some of us, comic books, others, movies, TV shows, things of that nature. Now, I know that SuburbaniteSlob is what is classified as a Batman dork. He may or may not have streamed for about, 5 hours on Batman Day last year?
5 hours, yep.
No, not correction. Not on Batman Day, the week before Batman Day, because you forgot what day Batman Day was.
Well, it was a couple years ago on Batman Day. And then I think I played the replay on what I thought was Batman Day because DC Comics apparently doesn't know how to work social media. So somebody got it wrong because they assumed it'd be the same as last year. Fucking, it's a yearly event. Why wouldn't it be the same? No, they're like, nah, it's next week. Don't worry. But anyways.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember just the tweet of being like, all right, so it turns out I goofed. So we're just going to rerun that on the actual Batman Day. Which was great because I missed some of what you were talking about because I know you were talking about like.
Well, it's 5 hours. I don't expect you to listen to me talk for 5 hours.
I mean, don't get it twisted. I would sit there and listen to Batman for 5 hours. Like I've done it. Not a big deal for me. But so you are a big comic book person. What kind of got you into comic books? Like, what is your touchstones to comic books and like that whole genre / media juggernaut that is it?
I think the big jumping off point was Teen Titans on Cartoon Network when that originally aired in early 2000s.
Yep.
I got way too into that show, and that was kind of the first comic book thing that I got really into. I was into the fan forums. I was making anime music videos. I was freaking into it.
God, can we pause for a second?
Yep.
I love how you brought up AMVs. Oh my God, that takes me back. The amount of how many of them included either Linkin Park or 3 Days Grace?
There was definitely a lot of Linkin Park.
Because it was just like Breaking the Habit, Faint.
Yep. I made one with Faint that I was pretty proud of at the time.
Bleed It Out.
I'm pretty sure there was some 3 Days Grace. Probably some Pain in there by 3 Days Grace.
Pain, Animal I've Become.
Yep.
Edgelord
I didn't make an Animal I Become. Now I think about it. Yep.
It's like, yep, that happened.
Yep. All the visuals.
I don't know.
In my Windows Movie Maker. Didn't know what I was doing.
I don't know if Probably Oliver's laughing because he's like, you dorks, or if he's like, yeah, I remember watching those too.
No, this is a corner of the internet I never knew existed.
Oh my God.
If
you go down a rabbit hole.
You said like anime music videos, and I was like, right, I can figure out what that is. And then Paul drops AMVs. There's a shorthand for it.
Anime music videos. It is.
And not only that,
God, you nerds.
To call on anime music videos, there was a site called amv.org where I would try to submit my anime music videos, but they're like, no, Teen Titans is American made. It's not anime. Get out of here. And they kept
Get out of here with
adding my videos. And it was a whole thing. Like,
you need to go on to cartoonmusicvideos.org.
Teen Titans AMVs are AMVs. God damn it.
That's what just makes me laugh so hard. Is like you can go in there and like the amount of times I have seen Naruto fight Sasuke, like not even in Shippuden, just in the regular one. With like either some Linkin Park, 3 Days Grace, some other alt rock, occasionally like hip hop song.
You get some good ones that were like all instrumental, like Muse, Cliffs of the Dover, or something like that. That's just like you're just trying too hard without lyrics here, bud.
But that's the thing though. There were some that was real bad, where it was like they tried to put their own spin on it, and so they just like they were like you said, Microsoft Movie Maker, where they're just throwing just everything they can, all the effects in there to help out with it. And then every now and again, you'd get some people who do stuff like now, like AMVs are still a thing now. Like I saw a TikTok of one, and I was like, oh shit, no, don't do this, Paul. Don't go back down that rabbit hole, because they had synced it up. They had synced up like the transitions with the beats with like punches and shit.
Yeah.
So it's just like it would be like guns cocking and like all this other stuff where it's just like boom boom, and so it transitioned from one anime to another and like all this stuff, and I was like, you do great edits, but I don't want to go down this rabbit hole. No,
Oliver, you need to do yourself a favor and just find your favorite anime, find your favorite band, and just go into YouTube and just search this anime, this band, AMV.
Just type in that song AMV, and I guarantee you're gonna find something. I know you hate it, and I know this is like he's gonna message me in like a week being like, you motherfuckers. That is all. I was like, my productivity at work has declined so much just because I'm watching animes that I've never seen. I don't even know what they are. All I know is some guy punches another guy and his face like warps as the fist hits him in the face.
Yeah, that was my knowledge of anime for a while. Somebody like, have you seen this show? I'm like, no, but I've seen like a dozen AMVs, so I know it's got good action.
I've seen about 80% of the fight scenes in that show. In seasons 1 through 3, I've seen 80% of the fight scenes.
Then you watch the anime and you're like, why isn't 3 Days Grace playing right now where they're fighting? They'd be so much better.
It's like when you're playing a game and it's like, can we skip the cutscene? Can I get back to the action, please? I don't care. I just want to go back to them punching each other, please.
Yep. But anyway, sorry, we got derailed again. So from Teen Titans,
yep,
to making AMVs and stuff, it kind of snowballed from there. Where that was kind of the, I grew up watching like Batman and Batman Beyond, but like I wasn't really that big of a fan. It was just what I watched after school, I think, for cartoons. So then from Teen Titans, it kind of was like the perfect moment where that was right around Batman Begins, right around Arkham Asylum, the game. And then I think while Teen Titans was going, Justice League was also going on Cartoon Network. So then we got the Batman Beyond epilogue episode of Justice League, which like hit me hard. And I was like, that was the first moment where I realized, okay, like comic books can grow up with you. There's different tiers. Like I was down here with the teenage version of, these characters, which is fine. And I vibe with that. But it's like, there's a step up. And that's when I bought like Arkham Asylum, the comic book was my first comic book. And I was like, this is some fucking real shit. There's a severed head in a dollhouse. I didn't know Batman could go here. This is insane.
Yeah, the Comics Code Authority tried real hard to be like, hey, yeah, these aren't for kids anymore.
Yeah,
like you can't show that. Kids read that. It's like adults read it too.
Yep.
Like just don't let your kid buy it. And adults were like, oh, it's a comic book. Who cares? Until you were like, mommy, look at this, and like, what is that?
And that if you give Arkham Asylum to a kid, they're gonna have nightmares. That book is terrifying. The whole, you're talking about Bloodborne looking wet. That whole book, just the art, it just looks dirty and just it's all like smeared.
It's just got
not really sure what's going on, but it's fantastic.
You just got a level of grit.
It's literal insanity in a comic book, which is what they were going for. So that was the moment where I was like, there's a different state, and especially Batman, especially just all at once snowballed into Batman, where it's like, fucking, there is so much more to Batman than just he puts on a cape and runs around and punch people.
More than
that's when I went hard.
More than like shark repellent.
Exactly.
Hey, Odin knows that
Batman.
word about Adam West.
There's a Batman for everybody. Some have shark repellent. Some
have a bat. Some have a bat credit card.
Oh,
exactly. And nipples.
Oh, that credit card. It's the best.
Fuck, I love that film. Too.
Everyone, chill. Who decided to make Arnold into a scientist? All right, let's dial that back. Who decided to make Arnold Schwarzenegger a scientist?
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age.
And then,
Incredible.
and then
The film's
why
the
was he
best.
not Bane? Just make him Bane. He's already big as shit. Like, you have a guy who is literally Mr. Universe. Like, I could live so many things, you know. I got the pump going, you know. I'm backstage. I get the pump before I go on, and I just feel fantastic. Like, and then you have him play a doctor. Meanwhile, you have a muscle-bound, just gigantic man, and that's not who you're gonna put as Bane. But then I understand, because in that movie, Bane is an idiot
Yep.
who is
Just a big
Hey, there's a
mongoloid
moment when he's a
luchador.
chauffeur.
there is
He's a chauffeur. He's got a nice little chauffeur's hat. It's
God.
it's an incredible role. It's
But I-
range.
And I do love how in that movie it makes no fucking sense. How is the plant lady and the ice guy teaming up? Why?
Yep.
Because fucking Batman. Because we already
He wants the world to be covered in
because we
plants. He
already
wants to be
used the
covered in
Joker.
ice. That can happen at the same time.
Yeah, no, like the one person gets Mr. Freeze gets the top and the bottom, and then she gets like a little band around the middle. It's fine. It's fine.
It's the best. I won't hear a bad word about Batman and Robin. That film is that film. Like, I don't know if you guys have watched that film like as a grown up, but that film is trippy. That film is weird. That film is insane.
So, Batman and Robin, what was it? Batman Forever was the Val Kilmer one.
Yep.
Those two.
Yes.
Those two movies are just like the weirdest fucking thing. And what makes me laugh is the fact that like Batman has gone through these moments and these issues where like now it's like, oh, they can't recast Batman. What are they going to do? People are going to be confused. I was like, y'all swapped Keaton out with Val Kilmer. And then immediately swapped Val Kilmer out with George Clooney. Y'all don't give a shit. Don't play these games. Like, y'all not above just swapping a character out for no reason. And then when you get into it, I think it was The Mystery Men.
Yes,
You guys
the Ben
know-
Stiller.
Yeah, the Ben Stiller movie. They used the props from those movies in their movie, which
I didn't know
totally
that.
fucking makes sense. Now, if this is an incorrect fact, I am sorry, but like that was something I heard, and then looking at it, I'm like, nope, I totally see that. I totally see them being like, hey, we need a set for this movie, or we can just use the Batman and Robin shit that's just laying around over there. It's already ridiculous enough. Like, let's just fucking send it, right? And so they do, and it's that movie is another comic book joke movie before comic book joke movies were a thing.
What's amazing that we didn't know comic book movies are bad then. Because I remember watching Mystery Man as a kid, and I was like, that's fine. Same with Batman and Robin and Batman Forever. I was like, sure. That's just, we didn't know any better. That's all we had.
Because they were
I maintain Batman Forever isn't that bad. Batman Forever is fine. Like, it's
I wish I could zoom in on my face right now with my camera in this scenario.
like Batman and Robin bad. Like, it's hilarious bad, but it's bad.
It's
Batman Forever is it's like a 5 out of 10. It's just I don't think it deserves the amount of ridicule it gets. It's just there. It's just
okay.
It's fine.
Now I gotta ask, because Slob, you don't know this. Probably Oliver sometimes has like, I won't say hot takes, odd takes. We'll just go with that. Are you basing that off of the same way you are basing that Bug Snacks is a top 5, has top 5 soundtracks of any video game?
Bug Snacks has an incredible soundtrack. That is an incredible song.
The Bug Snacks is like one of the best songs.
It's one of the best
video games.
I never said best soundtrack. I said it has got the best theme song.
Theme song. Sorry, I'm sorry. I was incorrect. The best theme song. We were talking about Halo. We're talking about Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, where that shit is a Bond song and it's dope. And then this motherfucker brings up Bug Snacks. I think it's on episode 1, I believe, of this. So you go back on the YouTube and watch that shit. Are you gonna sit there and I'm knife handing? That's how I've gone back into military at this point. You're gonna sit there and tell me that Batman Forever is not a bad movie when you have Tommy Lee Jones just trying to be the fucking Joker, where they do everything is split down the middle, when that's not Two-Face. Jim Carrey going way over the top with the Riddler.
Jim Carrey also trying to be the Joker.
Where they're just pulling, exactly, where they're pulling your brain out. It's just, where like they paid some guy $20 to do the After Effects on that thing, which I'm sure cost way more. But they just like, oh yeah, we're going to put this thing on top of every TV in America and it will pull their brains and then I will be the smartest man alive. Like, get the fuck out of here with that shit. Holy rusted metal, Batman. Fuck you. Get the fuck out. I am not doing this.
I'm saying it's fine. It's like,
Fine.
Fine. It's
Seal couldn't even save that movie. He did a theme song.
Yeah, Kiss from a Rose. Kiss from a Rose drags it up. Kiss from a Rose.
It pulls it from that 2 out of 10 to 5 out of 10 in your brain.
There's U2 have got a song on that soundtrack. I think the Smashing Pumpkins have a song on that soundtrack.
You're
that
telling
film
me
is fine.
You're telling me that young Paul didn't watch that movie and then immediately want to go to McDonald's and get the frosted Batman Forever glasses.
No. I didn't say that. I'm saying as an adult. You cannot sit here and watch this movie and tell me it is not a bad movie. Don't get me wrong. They took some leaps. Tim Burton fucking ruined, what the hell was Batman 2? Batman
Returns.
Batman Returns. That was fucking weird. Danny DeVito as the Penguin, as a literal fucking penguin monster? Why was he like...
Yeah, Batman Returns.
Why was there like
blue,
black blood out of him? I don't understand. Catwoman being Catwoman. Sure. Christopher Walken being whatever the fuck character Christopher Walken was in that goddamn movie. I don't even know who he was supposed to be. And it was just like, what on God's green earth are we watching here? And like, that's not to say that the first Batman 89, is like, that there's not some leaps in that fucking film either. Just like the sheer pulling the pistol out, like shooting an airplane out with a fucking revolver, because that's how that works. If the barrel is longer, that makes the bullet stronger. That's what that means. Let me pull my big gun out. It's like, sure.
All I am saying is that there are, as far as like a tier list of Batman films are concerned.
Okay.
And we're only talking films, not Batman media, not Batman games, just Batman
just
films.
There
films. Are 2 top tier films. And then there's a lot of fine to bad. Like there is Batman Begins and there is Dark Knight and then there is everything else. Yep. And as far as that list is concerned, Batman Forever, it's not at the bottom of the list. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
There's a Batman for everybody, and some people like that Batman, that's fine. And I've read a lot of comic books that take fucking Batman seriously, and the storyline is still just as fucking kooky as the Riddler siphoning people's knowledge from the TV sets. That fucking Scott Snyder in one of the greatest Batman runs of all time has Batman fighting a giant fucking flower guy in the middle of Gotham City. And it's like, that's fine. Like, this is grounded as hell, but that's still happening, but sure. It's just fucking comic books. I love it.
That's the thing, right? So you have the comic books thing, which can kind of get away with being a bit more whimsical, a bit more fantastic, a bit more like, what the fuck is happening, right? But then when you're doing the movie, and it's just like, oh, we're going to do this whole thing with the TV, sure, whatever, send it. But when you're saying it's not a bad movie, I'm trying to think what would be bottom barrel of the Batman movies. And then, like, you could try to say, like, you could technically put, like, are we counting the Snyderverse? Let me just ask that question now before we even get in.
Yes,
because Batman v Superman is a goddamn Batman movie. Batman v Superman is a fucking Batman movie guest starring Superman, when it should be the other goddamn way around. I think they were like...
It was also a sequel to Man of Steel, which makes... that doesn't make
sense. That movie was not great.
That's a good movie. I'll die.
Batman v Superman. Look, you can die on that rock with Greg Miller. I don't give a shit. Like, you and Greg can sit there. Like, it is not. It's not a bad movie. It is shot well. They do a lot of
Yeah.
interesting things. However, it is not a good movie.
It was marketed poorly. The
Yeah.
theatrical cut was terrible. You need to watch the extended version if you watch any version of it.
No. I'm not sitting here with another goddamn Snyder
Yep.
cut, all right? I don't need 17 hours of a fucking Justice League movie just so that way I can get darker Ben
Yes, you
Affleck
do,
and
because
darker Jason Momoa with,
Zack Snyder doesn't know how to tell a movie in 2 hours.
Yeah, but God
But
forbid,
yet he still tries, and it's
need
cute.
8 hours of fucking slow motion. I'm peaking so loud on this fucking thing right now. I just see it. I just see the sound bars like tiptoeing into the red. I don't need 8 hours of slow-mo in a fucking 9-hour movie, all right? I don't need to see the Flash grab a hot dog and put in his fucking pocket, okay? That's a Justice League Snyder Cut reference, if anybody caught that.
When it comes to Batman movies, I would rather watch the Joel Schumacher ones than the Zack Snyder ones, than the Tim Burton ones, than the Adam West ones. Like, Nolan, better than Schumacher. Schumacher is probably my second favorite Batman director, and fucking come at me, internet, if you need to.
He had a vision and he committed.
Exactly.
Whether or
He
not that's what
committed
you
to the
wanted out
bit,
of
and
it,
it was insane.
It was
They
a
were like-
complete adhesive vision.
Yo, they
and
were just
story.
like, yo, we're doing ridiculous stuff. It's it's bright, it's vibrant. Don't ask questions.
Yep.
It's like, all right, cool. And that's what it was at the time. That's what it needed to be at the time, and I get that. However, the roller skates pop, or not the roller skates, the ice skates popping out the bottom of the bat shoes.
Well, when I
All
heard
right.
that Schumacher came from costume design in movies, I was
Mhm.
like, that makes so much sense, because that's pretty much what those movies are. Is just a fashion show.
Yeah. You know what that is? Okay, I'm gonna pull the veil back on what comic books and comic movies are for. They're not to tell you a good story. They're not to like uplift the media in some nice way. No. They're there to sell you on a new goddamn action figure. Okay? That is why Falcon and the Winter Soldier, everybody's getting new costumes in that. Fucking WandaVision, new costumes. Spider-Man gets a new costume every goddamn movie. You know why? Because we need to sell you on a new toy, because that's where we're gonna fucking Spaceballs called it. Merchandise. That's how you fucking make money on that shit. So yeah, that's why every movie...
I don't know, it was one of the Schumacher films that the toy line was designed before the script was finalized or something. Like, it was before it went into production, the toys were already made, and that was one of the Schumacher films, and it shows. It shows. Those films are commercials, but those feel like Batman and Robin is terrible, but it is a fun film to watch. It is, because it's purely insane, and it commits to the bit, and it goes all in, and it's a fun movie to watch, as bad as it may be.
Since when do fucking diamonds make things cold? Since when do diamonds make things cold? Why? Because they look like ice. Shut the fuck up. That's why. It's shut up, you idiot. Shut up, nerd. Enjoy the movie.
Yep.
I love that film. I like unironically love that film. It is a fun film to watch. It is so bad that it's good. It goes full circle.
I am very much looking forward to the Robert Pattinson movie. Robert Pattinson?
Pattinson, yeah.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to that, because that looks like fucking Daredevil, like Netflix Daredevil. And I'm fucking here for it. I'm like, yes. I understand that when he takes his helmet off, it looks like, when I was a young boy, my father. I understand, all right?
But they finally did the Black Shadow when he has his mask off. Unlike Batman Returns, where he has the mask on with the shadow, it cuts to his mask off and he doesn't. It's like, when did he have time to put on makeup remover?
Yeah, don't fuck. He's Batman. I'm really looking forward to it. They're using the Riddler, and they're using him, and like they very like Seven or just like criminal mastermind, like, hey, like Jigsaw-esque one away of like, you want to play a game? Like, no, I don't, but it seems like I don't have a choice in the matter. Like, let's go. And so I'm here for it. And so we'll see where that movie takes us. We'll see if that movie can I don't know if it will be able to eclipse The Dark Knight as far as like holy shit Batman movies. But as long as it can get in that tier listing, then I'm fine.
I mean, yeah, like nothing's ever like. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Dark Knight is one of the holy trinity of comic book movies. There is nothing comes close to The Dark Knight. Nothing ever will. It's just not possible. And I don't think because of that, I don't think anyone will ever compare another Batman film to The Dark Knight. It's unfair. It's an unfair comparison. Like,
yeah. And if you think real quick, if you think Spider-Man 2, Tobey Maguire's, is the same level, sit down. I'm sorry, just sit the fuck down. No, it's not. I get it. Doc Ock is dope, and the fact that he's in this new movie, I fucking despise. Considering, according to the news articles and according to him, this movie is the new movie, what, No Way Home or some shit like that? Picks up immediately after Spider-Man 2, like Doc Ock, like from him landing in the water to that is like, oh yeah, it immediately picks up. You died. No. I'm not. This is not Fast 9 where Han, for some reason, survived the car exploding, which I don't understand how that happened, but it's also Fast 9. That series should not have gotten past Fast 2. But here we are.
Those are pretty much comic book movies at this point. Let's just
they are. They're just like, what other... It's like the Expendables at that point, where it's just like, what dumb shit, like, what plot line do we have to string together so that way we can get random cars in random places and bring in another actor? Like, let's go.
The Fast films are fun though, because the Fast films are constantly winking at the camera. They're like, they're constantly going, like, they're in on the joke, and that's what makes it so much fun. Like, they know how, like, Vin Diesel knows how ridiculous those films are, and so he's now just leaning into it. And they're fun. They're fun to watch.
And it only works in movie form. There can't be a Fast and Furious comic book because you just don't get that engine rev testosterone moment from a comic book. It's just, you need the Fast and the Furious in the movie theater, just with the jacked up stereo of just like, all right, for some reason I'm American and I love engines and motors, so let's just fucking go fast.
Let's just go. Let's go. And this one that looks like they're damn near going into space in a car. I'm like, all right, cool. So this is like what they joked about in Machete 3, where it was just like, we're going into this Machete in space. It's like, all right, sure, why not? But yeah, it's just it's a lot of ridiculous nonsense with those kind of with fast movies, but it's just comic book movies, and especially even with like the Batman stuff, trying to wrap this all the way back to the jump off point here with it being Batman. Like, the movies are such a wide range, and depending on how you feel about it and how you think Batman should behave, because there are some people who think that Batman is Frank Miller's Batman. It is just this dark, brooding, brutal, angry Batman. There are some people that like the old Batman, the Golden Age Batman, the ridiculous, like, Adam West version of Batman and Joker, where it's just like, a laugh a day keeps a doctor away, huh? Like, ridiculous bullshit, right? Where he literally, like, paints over his mustache with fucking white paint instead of shaving because
Cesar Ramirez refused to shave his mustache. Like,
it's like,
I say we pivot this. Like, let's keep on Batman media. Like, let's keep it on Batman films.
I could keep talking about.
I could talk about the Batman films all day.
I was gonna say my whole touchstone to this is just Spider-Man's, which then immediately rolls into movies, which then immediately rolls into all this other stuff. Because my touchstone in comic books is getting that tone that they do every now and again, right? It was at my local, like, middle school library. I walked in there because obviously I was a shithead kid. I didn't want to read anything that I had to read. So what do? I'm browsing and I saw fucking Spider-Man book, whatever. It wasn't even like book 1. It was just a random book that somebody had donated. And it was like 30 issues of Spider-Man. Could I tell you what issues they were? No. I know that they had the Hobgoblin in them, so that puts it roughly in the 90s time frame. Mm-hmm. But, like, that was my touchstone into Spider-Man, and that's what got me into comic books. And then from there, obviously, I was watching the Spider-Man movies when they came out because, you know, you're a kid, fucking Spider-Man, hell yeah, like, go web, go! Oh, organic webbing. Obviously, that's how Spider-Man works, because spiders have organic webs. It's like, no, not because that's gross and it doesn't make sense. Like how? Okay, whatever, send it. And so it's just one of those things. Like you have, like even with the Spider-Man stuff, even going to the Spider-Man movies, right? We've had 3 different Spider-Men in the last since 2000. So in 20 years, we've had 3 different Spider-Men. We have had, not counting Adam West, because we'll just go with the last since 80. Well, actually, we didn't got to go into 89. We can go into the 90. When did Batman Returns come out? 91?
92.
92
was Batman Returns.
So we have Batman Returns. So we have 1, 2, 3 Batman, just between Keaton, Val, and
3 in 5 years. Batman and Robin was 97. So yeah, free Batman in 5 years.
And then we have Christian Bale, and then we got Ben Affleck, and then now we have Robert Pattinson, and that's not even counting the voice acting, which we're not.
Well, I mean, in fairness, the voice, it's been Kevin Conroy for 175 years. It's like that is.
It has been, except now it's going to be Jensen Ackles. Jensen Ackles is taking over the new one for Jensen Ackles, aka Dean from Supernatural, is going to be Batman in The Longest Halloween, the newest DC animated movie.
Where's Kevin Conroy gone?
Kevin Conroy is old as fuck, and he can't do the voices that much for it.
No.
Yeah,
like don't get me wrong, him and Mark Hamill are phenomenal, and they will be like your touchstone to those. Like Batman animated series is phenomenal, and I love that shit. And that was like, I owned those. I bought those. I bought Batman and Superman animated series. I stopped on the Justice League because I was like, I'm not buying. Nope, I don't need this. Although I need it. Because it's just one of those comfort things. Like Batman Under the Red Hood, which is also where Jensen Ackles played Red Hood, aka one of my favorite fucking DC anti-heroes.
Yep.
Like, I watch that damn near every time I get on a flight. Why? Because it's 90 minutes of of enjoyment. Yep. Same thing with Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker. Why? Because Mark Hamill's playing the Joker in the future, and it's cool. And and it's just like a cool rendition of it. And so like you have even just getting the voice actors, like Kevin Conroy, phenomenal. But even him and Mark Hamill, like they realize, hey, we can't keep doing this. I can't keep doing this voice. Like Kevin Conroy, the last time he did it, like his Bruce Wayne and Batman voices, which were started off very different, slowly start to just become one voice. Like there's still slight differences, and I'm not in any way, shape, or form going to start talking shit on fucking Kevin Conroy. Like I want to do voice acting. He's done it phenomenally for years and years. But like Troy Baker doing Batman sounds phenomenal. He did it in Arkham Origins, and now he's also doing it in Long Halloween. Like he's going to be the Joker in that.
Yep.
And like he does a phenomenal job at it.
Shit, what was the one? There was another movie that just came out too that he was. I think he played Batman and the Joker in. What the hell movie was that? That was Death in the Family? Maybe the new Death in the Family. Anyways,
I was gonna say, according to the chat, some of the Josh is saying Troy Baker is also an amazing Batman. I assume Death in the Family would be the one.
No, I know Troy Baker was Batman in the Telltale games, and he was a very good Batman. He was a very good Bruce Wayne in that. He was a very good that. I love. Like I never played the second season of it, but I love the first season of that Telltale Batman. Like there was a. Have either of you played it? I don't want to spoil it.
I played season 1. I was gonna play season 2.
Yeah, I played season 1 and 2, and it took me a while to get through season 2, but once I did, I loved it.
See, I've not played season 2 yet, but I love the twist on. And again, spoilers for Telltale's Batman game.
Spoilers for a game that came out like 5 years ago. Get out of my house.
Yeah, I looked it up. Troy Baker was Batman and the Joker in Batman versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the animated movie, which is a fantastic movie. That's what I was thinking of.
Hey, are you actually telling me that's a good movie?
It's a great movie.
Okay, see, I'm always hesitant with stuff like that. I understand that the Batman and Ninja Turtles like crossover comics are good as hell, but I'm like, I never trust those. I never trust crossovers.
And like, again, you have to. It's a little campy, so like, it's not your serious Dark Knight Returns Batman for the Ninja Turtles, but like it's like Batman's in the he's got the blue cape and the yellow bat signal. So like
Yeah.
it's 90s Batman. He's kind of goofy. I mean, he's still serious, but I mean, you get to see what Batman fight Shredder, and it's just one of those two things in my childhood coming together so well. And I read the comics too, and the comics are great, and they adapted it so well.
All right, then I'll probably end up watching that because
Watch
damn
that
it, I
one for
love
sure.
Ninja Turtle.
If I could recommend one off
I don't care how shitty
animated
Return
Batman
the
movie
Ooze
that
is.
isn't the 8 other ones I would recommend, that would be it.
I don't care how bad Return of the Ooze is. I love that fucking movie. Fucking Vanilla Ice up there. Go Ninja, go Ninja, go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Go Ninja.
This episode is going to be 5 hours long, and I don't even fucking care. I might have to break this up into parts. Part 1, games. Part 2, comics and everything else.
Yeah, like wow, I can't even remember.
What is your touchstone? Should we get that out of the way?
Yeah,
then we get at least everybody got their chance.
On Batman or
For
comics or
we'll start with comics and then we'll pivot into whatever
I don't care.
else.
It's your show. What am I doing?
I say fuck it. Like, I mean, let's not make this 100 hours long. Let's make this the Batman episode of Nostalgia on the Rocks. I want to talk Batman. All
right, let's just talk Batman.
I was gonna talk about Civil War. I was gonna talk about The Walking Dead. We won't talk about those.
Like Paul said, I once talked about Batman by myself for 5 hours straight. So I mean,
all right,
if you want to go for another 4 hours, let's do it.
So if you're not watching Invincible, fucking watch Invincible. If you don't know what Invincible is, it was a comic book series, kind of spoofing off of comic books that is written by the same guy who wrote Walking Dead. So like, which is
I've not watched it yet because I've not read it yet, and I want to read it first. Like,
don't bother.
It's the comic that I've wanted to read for years, but
I'm saying this
or are you just watching it?
I have read 20 out of the 25 volumes. I fucked up and I went on Comixology because they're all there, and I just bought I would buy them as I would finish buy it. I burned myself out. I was just reading that for a hot minute, so I kind of burned myself out on the burned myself out on it a little bit, which is annoying because I'm like I've got like 4.5 volumes left. I can finish this. I should really just finish out this to figure out where it all ends and see where it goes. But at the end of the day, like I would say actually just watch it then read it. Because
somebody who's just watching it, I'm not. It hasn't grabbed me yet. I'm still watching. It's one of those things I just put on every week. I'm like, maybe this will be the one. Maybe this will be the one. And it's got some cool moments here and there, but I'm just not quite there yet. I don't really care about any of the characters yet.
Really?
My only concern with watching it is that I've got a very low tolerance for animated as far as like TV or films are concerned, and so a weekly 50-minute animated, I would struggle to really get into it. I've never, for some reason, I was never really a cartoon guy. Like, there's cartoons that I've enjoyed. Like, I loved the X-Men cartoon when I was a kid. I loved the Batman cartoon when I was a kid, and I've watched them both as adults. But it kind of, the only thing that carries me through episode to episode is nostalgia. I struggle with watching like long form animated shows unless they're sort of out and out dumb comedy like Rick and Morty or Big Mouth or something. Those are the only ones that I can sit through. And it's the same reason I've never really got into anime, because I have such a low tolerance for that kind of like just animated content in any genre really. It's which I am in the wrong on that one. I fully accept that I am the problem there. Like it's not the other people who are wrong. It is me. Like
But I wonder how you'd like Invincible, because I like cartoons in general, and I still am bumping into it a little bit. So
Slob, what episode are you on?
I think I haven't watched this week's. Whatever the very newest one.
So Oliver, all I'll say is, if you watch episode 1 all the way through, because there's like a little credits thing, watch it all the way through. If that does not hook you, then go ahead and read.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
what the show does is it's not following the book verbatim. They are changing up the timeline a little bit with certain things. They're kind of moving some things around to kind of make it make sense a little bit more, to kind of, obviously, because they don't know how many seasons they're going to be able to get of the show. They might get 1, they might get 2, they might get 5, they might, you don't know. So they don't want to like, oh, well, we're going to only do like volume 1, because volume 1 only a certain amount of things will happen. So they are kind of fast forwarding some of the stuff. They're glossing over certain things. They're just straight up cutting out other things. Like they've changed up a lot of stuff. So there is this, like, not even a spoiler thing here. This is literally just one of the things that I noticed they changed was I want to say Mark, right? That's the main guy's name. Or my blank, what's his name?
Yeah.
That rings a bell.
Yeah, so Mark's best friend in the show is he's gay. It's fine, right? In the comic, that is not something that is revealed until like they're in college. That's not something that that's something that comes out later, like damn near book 3 or 4, where it comes out that he's gay. Because like before it was just like, nah, he's dating this girl and like this and that and ba ba ba. But in this one, they're like, nah, like he's just gay out the gate. They've changed up certain characters, like one of the girls that Mark dates in the comic looks very similar to kind of like Gwen Stacy. In the show, I think it's the same character. If I'm mistaken, then I apologize. But in the show, she's black. She's not like this blonde-haired, blue-eyed chick, which is fine. They're changing up the character. There's no consequence to changing that up. There's nothing saying that she had to stay that like blonde-hair, blue-eyed. And so like there are certain things that they're kind of changing and tweaking for the show to have the show make more sense and to be more streamlined and less convoluted, and like to kind of pick the pace up a bit. So I would definitely say watch the first episode all the way through. If the first episode all the way through does not hit you right, or you're like, kind of whatever, then you don't need to try to watch it week by week. I'm not going to sit here and be like, well, no, you got to give it like 3 episodes. Like, no, if the first episode doesn't like make you kind of want to watch the second one, then don't bother with it, because the animation does have hiccups. They didn't have a great budget. They spent I think the budget they spent more on the voice acting than on the animation, because there are certain animation where they are talking or walking and all that stuff where it seems a little stiff, and it is like they kind of rip some stuff straight out of comic books. Like in the comic, they make a joke about how, oh man, how do you get, oh yeah, how do you get these like he's trying to get a comic book signed, Mark is, by like one of the comic book creator that he really loves, and he's talking about like how, oh, do you think it's a little cheap when you just kind of reuse the same panel over and over again, but you just change the text in it? And in the joke is it starts off at the top, cuts to the artist, and then it goes back forth, and the bottom of the page is like, no. And then that's the whole page. Like that's the joke, is that some comic book artists will do that. And so they have some stuff like this where like 2 people talk and they'll cut back and forth between the 2, but it's really like the same image. It's just you get a little bit of mouth movement. Not quite like Team 4-star level of just like the mouth moves, but like kind of like that. Like sometimes the eyes don't seem like they're in the right spot. I think Andy Cortez points it out on the Kind of Funny review. Like sometimes like the eyes don't seem quite right, or like little things need a bit of tweaking. But at the end of the day, when it comes to the action where the animation is absolutely needed, it's phenomenal. They do the weird kind of 3D thing every now and again, like when Invincible's like flying around, and a lot of people have made the joke that it's literally like they just took a JPEG of Mark and they just move him around the screen. And I was like, yeah, because that's all you fucking need. Like, no offense, he's flying. You don't like, it doesn't matter. It's a transitional piece. It's to show you that he's flying. Like, you don't necessarily need that to be this next level thing. What I'd rather have is the fight scenes when Mark is punching somebody in the face, or when this other superhero is doing this amazing thing. That is what I'd rather have look great, not necessarily like every dialogue scene between 2 people. And so they kind of take they do some cuts between those things. So like the animation does at times suffer. I'm not gonna sit here and say it doesn't. But at the same time, if the first episode doesn't hook you to immediately want to watch the second, then I would say that's when you can sit there and read.
Right. Okay. That's fair. That's fair. I mean, like, because it's like, I know I'll love the comic book. Like, I am a huge fan of the Walking Dead comic book. Never liked the TV show. Love the comic book. Love Robert Kirkman. And I know I mean, to be fair, I first heard of Invincible maybe 5 or 6 years ago. Like, and I was like, I'll get on that. I'll buy that at some point. But I was like, I've got a stack of comics I've not read yet. I'm gonna get through them first of all. And then fast forward 5 years later, and that stack has got bigger, but I haven't read any more of them.
I shudder to think about my Comixology /Marvel /DC app that in the not started section of those apps. Yeah, like these are the books that you bought that you haven't read yet. It's like, no, stop talking. Look,
well,
I want them to
keep. Me and Oliver were just talking about that, and I was like, I have a whole stack of same thing. I keep going to the comic book store. I keep buying them. I have the brown bag full of comics, and I just keep buying more. And I just keep shoving it in the same brown bag. Now I just have a big gaping brown bag of shit I haven't read yet.
I got like I mean, this is the third one, but I got like the fourth and final compendium of The Walking Dead, like the day it came out, like 2 years ago. And I know it's the last one, and I know it ends, and I still haven't opened it because I've said to myself, like, oh, it's been 3 or 4 years since I last read it, so I want to read it from the start again. And it's like, I'm not gonna read it from the start again. That's like I mean, this is huge. This is, and there's 4 of these. Like, I'm never gonna get through that, but I keep telling myself maybe one day I will.
So that little stack right there, for everybody who's watching, they can see kind of like a weird stack. That used to be standing upright. I brought it on stream like a week ago. That's just my Cable and Deadpool run. Because I own all 50 issues and I think like 2 variant covers. And that's the only comic book series that I've like bought all the way through, because that was like the first one that I really started buying when I started actually having my own money when I joined the military. And then down underneath it is like the Critical Role books, like comic books they did. I have Kingdom Come, which if you haven't read Kingdom Come, you absolutely fucking should, because that goddamn comic is that is a bunch of oil paintings that somebody put text box on. And it's goddamn amazing. I've got I got Planet Hulk, World War Hulk. I can't, like, some of my stuff's blocked, so I can't read it. But like, I've got Super Sons Volume 1 on there, which is another great book that got undermined, and I hate that DC killed it. And it's not even DC. Brian Michael Bendis loved you on the Marvel side. Superman didn't do your best work. The fact what you did to John was like 12 years old. They aged him up to like 18. I fucking hate it. Because then they got rid of Super Sons, which was Damian Wayne and Jonathan Kent working together, which was great because you have Jonathan Kent, who is like this whimsical, he is Superman's son and he has this innocence to him. And then you have Batman's son, who was raised by Talia al Ghul and the fucking League of Shadows. And so you have this like cynical fucking asshole with this like literally Superman character who is just like the purest of pure, and you put them together and it was great. And then you had to fuck it up by aging Jonathan Kent up to like 18. Meanwhile, Damian Wayne is still like 13, 14 because he's still goddamn Robin.
Yep.
I hate it. I wish Super Sons would come back, but it's unless they de-age Jonathan Kent, which I've heard rumors they might try to do, but at the same time, like it takes somebody who's got the gall to be like, yeah, no, Jonathan Kent's young again. Why? Because
it's about time to age up Damian Wayne too. We've seen enough of teenage Damian Wayne. You know, we haven't seen his Nightwing phase yet. You know, eventually he's going to become Batman. I think there's been a few comics that have gone to the future and seen that, but we haven't really got that run of here's 18-year-old Damian Wayne doing. But
if you update, because here's the thing, right? You can't do it. You know why? Because then you have to say that Batman is old as fuck. Like, you can't have Batman who made a kid and try to tell me that Batman is in his like 30s, which is always what they try to put Batman in, is like roughly in his 30s. If Damian is 18, that means that legally speaking, Bruce Wayne would have to at least be 40. And they don't want that. All right.
Even if you think about it, he's got to be about at least mid-30s when he had Damian.
Yeah, depending on which.
Even if he's in his mid-20s when Dick Grayson comes around.
Yeah, Ollie, I don't know which. I don't know how deep into the Batman continuity you are, but
0.
Okay, so this is gonna let me try. Okay, Slob, I'm gonna need you to correct me on this. This is gonna be a 3-hour episode. Strap in, sports fans. All right, this is gonna be the longest goddamn episode. I don't even care. I'm going until Oliver leaves, and then even when Oliver leaves, we're just gonna pull a side by side.
I've got a fairly hard out.
Like, I got about a half hour.
All right. See, yeah, that's the thing. It's like, all right, cool. So we're just gonna keep running this until then, probably. So. This is gonna be the hardest cut out. There's no gonna be real outro. It's gonna be like, bye. So Damian Wayne, according to what I understand, is going to be his continuity as of right now, as far as I'm aware, is Batman during one of his escapades stopping Ra's al Ghul got drugged by Talia, and then Tali and Tali then had sex with Batman, and then that's how she got pregnant with Damian.
I recognize that because that's a subplot in season 4 of Desperate Housewives, I think. Like that's
it's either that one or they took Batman's DNA, spliced it with hers, and they made him in a tube. Those are like the two continuities that Damian Wayne has had. And I think the first one, although it means that Batman got raped, is less convoluted and less weird than him getting like half cloned. And so, like Slav, am I wrong here? Is that the current continuity or not?
Yeah, there's been a couple different, but that's definitely one of them.
Wife just being fucking
I still like that they fell in love at some point. I still like the Batman Beyond where she shows up and calls him beloved and all that. But
yeah, that's, don't get me wrong. Like I still like that.
It's a little harsh that she straight up rapes him, but
yeah,
whatever's got to happen.
It'd be like that sometimes. Unfortunately,
it does make more sense for him to have, because and I don't know. People talk about Batman all the time, like he's supposed to be the greatest detective of all time. That he's supposed to know everything. And they're like, well, how did he not know he had a kid? And it's like, well, if you want to think about that, then yeah, it's kind of a plot hole that he didn't know. But at the same time, it's the fucking League of Shadows. So for them to have a secret child,
yeah, it's like it's the League of Shadows.
I mean, to be fair, that's the problem with Marvel and DC in general, sort of thing. Is like I was talking about this earlier to my other half. Is that so? I'm reading back through some Marvel stuff at the moment, going from like Avengers Disassembled into House of M into Civil War into like I'm getting into like really really deep with it, like sort of thing. But the problem with Marvel and DC is that there is no end point, and they are always they're forced to play it pretty safe at all times. And it's like the big Marvel one for me, and there's always been, and it's like it's one of the things that really got me massively into comic books and then very quickly got me out of them for a little while was, and again, spoilers for a 14-year-old Marvel story at this point, the death of Captain America at the end of Civil War is one of the greatest comic book moments ever. That just the shot of him like lying dead on the floor outside the courthouse is fucking incredible. And within a year, they retcon it to say it was a Skrull posing as Captain America, and Steve Rogers is back, and it's because they have to. And it's like that's the thing. It's like that sounds like that kind of like the Batman mythos of like him having a kid and his age and how awkward it is. It's because they need to play it so ridiculously safe, and it's like that's kind of like why I fell out of like sort of Marvel and like, I mean, I was never big into DC comics. I was just it was never my wheelhouse. I never had access to them, sort of thing. So I'm sure I would have loved them and would love them now, but it's why I struggle to keep up with Marvel on a month to month basis, and would rather read stuff like Walking Dead or Lock and Key was a book from a couple of years ago that I absolutely adored, or I do like stuff like that, because The Walking Dead is incredible, because anything that happens in The Walking Dead is finite. It is, if anything happens, if a character dies, that character is fucking dead. And there's an amazing thing, like with I remember they did it for issue, again, spoilers for The Walking Dead comic book run, for issue 100 when they killed Glenn. I remember, like, in the build up to that, they did a thing, like, they pulled in like a picture of the main like cast of the Walking Dead comic book from the first trade paperback, and then who was surviving by issue 100. And I think there was 3 out of like the 16 central characters they had introduced as like, these are your important main characters, these are the people you should get emotionally attached to. All of them fucking dead, like, and just gone forever. And
I just love how you said that. All of them fucking dead. Like, doesn't matter.
Just straight up dead. Like, and that's what I've loved about those. And it's you know, the amount of times that Marvel and DC have had to like just retcon really, really interesting things. Like I was saying to my other half, I was explaining to her earlier, like, about like the old comic book adage that like nobody stays dead except for Jason Todd and Bucky Barnes
and Uncle Ben. There's 3 people that were supposed to stay dead, and it was those 3, and 2 of them came back.
Yeah.
Now I hate to do this. I hate to do that. Actually, wasn't Captain America? I thought he wasn't a Skrull. I thought he got hit with a time gun designed by the Red Skull to like essentially relive World War II over and over again, except he loses all the time or some shit. Because he didn't want Captain America to die because that would be too easy. No, I want him to suffer. And so I don't know why that's Red Skull's voice.
It's something like that. It was something ridiculous that like for 6 months they were so serious about Captain America is dead, Steve Rogers is gone, and then it was like, well actually let's bring him, and it's like, no, keep him dead. If it would be awesome if like to this day, like in the Marvel comic books, Steve Rogers was dead and they spoke about him as Captain America dead, and like the stories they could tell because of that, if they had like some level of, I think you're right, Paul. It was like, because I remember the run of like, there was the running around, would have that been the same time? So whatever it was ridiculous. It was stupid. It made no sense.
It was weird. It's like, I mean, hell, we could even like just swing it back to DC, the death of Superman.
Yeah, exactly.
Superman
Snyder Cut
died.
3 hours.
He's dead. He is fucking dead. But then immediately afterwards, you have Superboy. You have Cyborg Superman. You have Steel. And then you have Terminator Superman. I forget what he's called. Whatever, Terminator Superman. You had 4 Superman books coming out after that. And then it ends up ending with Superman coming back.
Yep.
In the black suit with the mullet. And that's cool. And they ran with that for a minute. And then what do? Oh, we can't tell you about Superman stories. Superman Blue, where he becomes fucking energy. Why?
Yep.
And then you get Superman Blue, and then Superman splits into blue and red because fucking comic books. And then they stick that for a while, and then they fucking merge them again. And he's Superman, and then New 52 happens.
Mm-hmm.
And then New 52, which I don't care what anybody fucking says. I don't care how much everybody hates New 52. I kind of like New 52 Superman. I kind of liked having that unsure Superman, all right? Like Earth 1 Superman, I enjoyed that story. Which, if you don't know what that is, Superman goes to Metropolis. He tries out for like the Metropolis football team, the baseball team. He goes into Star Labs. He does like all this shit to prove that like I could do whatever I want. I could be successful. I could like help out the world. I could be rich. I could do all this shit. And then these aliens show up. And there's like a scene of him like either talking to his mom or like kind of like talking, like thinking about his mom, talking about it, like rationalizing in his brain. He's like, I could do whatever I want. I could be happy. I could be rich. I could do this. I could do that. Like, why can't I just do these things? And it just boils down to like, Clark, because you can't. And then fucking he's like, fuck. And then he puts on the cape and then he puts on the cape and he goes and fights the fucking aliens. Because like, as much as he would love to just be the hero to do all this stuff, like at the end of the day, he's Superman. He has to do these things, not because he wants to, but because like nobody else can. And it's just like, you really could just be a baseball player and just fucking win. Like he'd have the best batting average ever. Like he could like not even like 2% power. Just like, all right, cool, first base, easy. Like he could be the best goddamn first baseman ever, and like that's all he'd have to do, and he'd be making millions of dollars a year. Just be like, yeah, cool. We're gonna trade you. No, you're not. Really? No. Why would you trade me? I have a 4.0 batting average, and I have yet to miss a catch.
Yep.
Why? It's like when Gohan. It's like Gohan in Dragon Ball Z.
You
To
can pay me
bring it
the
back
salary
to anime.
cap and just pay some jabronis $50 a game to stay on the field. It'd be the rest of the team,
and they would
we'll
still win with Super Bowl. Yeah. Better yet, like make him the pitcher. Like you. Oh well, we can only throw you a certain amount of games. He's like, I promise. Like he's just sitting on the pitch. He's just sitting on the mound, just like flicking the baseball, and it's still like a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Although Tom King's Batman, they do a run where it's a double date, where it's a Superman and Lois have a double date with Batman and Catwoman back when Bat and Cat were about to get married, and it was lovely. I enjoyed it. It was so fun. There's a point where
any Superman Batman dynamic is just fantastic.
Not any. There's some where it's real shitty when they're like not friends and they hate each other. I like it when they're friends, or at least they're like co-workers and acquaintances, and they don't hate each other. But like there's a moment where they're sitting there and they're literally on a baseball thing where like Superman's like, there's no fucking way you could hit a ball that I throw. And Batman's like, bet you I can. And like, no, you can't, Batman. All right? I don't think you understand how fast Superman can throw a baseball. Yeah. He can throw a person or like a tank into space. I don't think you understand what that means for a baseball that a normal person can whip at you 100 miles an hour. And then, of course, what do they do? Part 2 of the date, they go to a ball diamond, and like Lois Lane and Catwoman are like drunk, sitting there like just goofing and talking about stuff. And Batman's at the fucking plate, bat cowl and all, with a baseball bat in hand, and he fucking manages to hit one of the pitches. And Superman's like, "How?" And it's just because I'm Batman. Like, don't fucking ask questions. It just happened.
And that's one thing with Batman and Superman, where this goes back to Batman v Superman, where anytime I talk to somebody who's not into comics about Batman and Superman, like I've had this conversation at the bar multiple times, and somebody's like, your favorite superhero is Batman? Superman's better in every way. And it's like, yeah, if this is a trading card and you're comparing fucking stats, then yes, Superman is better in every way. If Superman wanted to, he could laser beam through Batman's head from around the earth in a nanosecond.
In all honesty, obviously. Batman does not win that fight. Batman never wins. And that whole like who wins in a fight, Batman v Superman, if Superman doesn't give a fuck and he is just out for blood, Batman is fucked.
But
like,
then he's not
Batman's
Superman.
killed. Batman's killed from orbit. Like Superman's just up listening, waiting for Batman to be anywhere relatively by himself, and just like, all right, and you fucked up, Bruce. Done. It's game over. It's just like Batman's head's lasered off, and it's like, well, shit.
My favorite Batman Superman fight is Hush. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Oliver. I've been going off.
Just on that, like, this is years and years and years ago, like back in like early noughties when like 2003, 2004, when they first sort of announced that Batman versus Superman was a film that was at some point going to happen, like, and then it turned into the Nolan films, and it didn't happen for years and years. But I used to read this webcomic called Movie Punks, and like it was really, really, really fun. It's like I've just tried to find it. It's impossible to find anymore. It's been dead for the longest time. But there was an amazing webcomic that was about like what Batman versus Superman would look like. And the first panel was just them like standing off, staring at each other. And the second panel was Batman throwing a batarang at like Superman, and it literally just bouncing off his chest.
Yep.
And the third and final panel was Superman just vaporizing Batman with like his laser eyes, and it was just like titled like "World's Shortest Movie." It's like, yeah, because that is a fight that does not happen and cannot happen, and if it did happen, would be a very fucking dull fight. Like,
well, my favorite, and Batman and Superman have fought in the comics plenty of times, but in Hush is my favorite Batman Superman fight, and I won't go through the whole fight, but the penultimate line, Batman says, pretty much that he goes, at the end of the day, Superman is a good person, and at the end of the day, I'm not, and that he knows how to pull his strings to get the advantage, even though he's not going to win in a full-on fist fight, but at the same time, Superman's not going to have a full-on fist fight with him.
Pretty much. And I love that thing because I'm not gonna break down the whole fight, but I will go in a little bit more about it.
Yep.
Batman is punching Superman in the face with his like Kevlar glove with a kryptonite ring on, and he is just punching Superman in the face. Meanwhile, Superman is being controlled by Poison Ivy. Like, that's why this whole thing, she's got like kryptonite laced fucking lipstick, which is why he's whatever, right? Comic books, shut up and enjoy it. So he's punching him, and he's like, if I keep hitting him, I can feel my hands start to break. And like, that was what the line was like. He's got a kryptonite ring on. He's like, I can feel my hand, even with the Kevlar and the ring, my hand is starting to break. And the whole reason is Superman is not going full tilt at Batman.
Yeah.
Because he's trying, because Superman knows, he's trying to fight Poison Ivy's influence while also fighting Batman. So it's like, yeah, Superman, if he's just like, fuck it, game over. If he just goes full Zod, it's game. Game, set, match. Batman's dead. The world is dead. No one stands a fucking chance at this. God forbid. What do you do? What do you do with Superman? You either have to hit him with like kryptonite, red sun, some other bullshit, like magic, and even magic's not like a weakness. It just kind of it like hits him like a normal person would. That's why Shazam.
Meanwhile, Batman tells Catwoman to go throw Lois Lane off a building, so that Superman will stop fighting him and go save Lois Lane. Because he knows that even under influence, eventually he's going to break free and do the right thing.
He's like, Lois falling off a building is like the trump card. That's like the only reason why I enjoyed Justice League, like the first one, the Wheaton cut, was like, he was like, bring out the big gun. And it was just Lois. Because it's like, this is, if she can't bring him back from the brink, we're fucked. It's game over. We fucked up. Sorry. Like, because that's the big gun. And it's just, oh, God.
Yep. Unlike in Batman v Superman, where it's, I'm fighting Apocalypse, but I can hear Lois Lane is drowning under this big thing and pounding underwater. Somehow I know that's Lois Lane and that's her drowning. And despite the fact that all this shit's happening, I can hear that exactly.
Yeah, fighting Doomsday.
Which they do address. I've watched a few episodes of Superman and Lois on the CW, which is a really good fucking show. But I don't. He's like, I kind of tune my hearing, so I listen for certain things. So I guess it can be explained, but at the same time, that I don't know.
Look, all I'm saying is I don't like. I love the CW shows. I can't. I watched like 18 seasons of Arrow. I can't. I just CW shows. I get it. People like them. I'm not doing it again. All right, you can only drag me. You can like I watched literally like 5-6 seasons of Arrow, like the first 2 seasons of Flash. No, I'm not watching Supergirl. I'm not watching Batwoman. I'm not watching any of the other shit.
Yep.
No. All right, I'm tired of it. I don't need 17 seasons of love triangles and random shit. All right, no. Over it.
I'm with you. This one's a little different, a little more adult, and they got kids, and it's better. But then again, if it goes on for 8 months, and even then, like I said, I watched a couple episodes. I'm not even caught up, so I'm really not watching it.
Fair enough. Fair
But
enough.
it's different than the other CW shows, but I know it's gonna get there anyways, so it doesn't matter.
Sooner or later, it's gonna go
About
into.
Black Lightning
It's
through the first season of that. I was like, this is great and it's different. And then they're like, oh, now he's teaming up for the crossover. I'm like, okay, it could have been a different universe. I would have been fine with that.
nah, man. Everything's got to cross over. There's got to be, we gotta do that crossover.
Yeah.
Marvel's doing it. We have to do it.
But back on the point of like canon and stuff like that. That's what I like. You're talking about Walking Dead and you like that it's one singular canon. You don't have to worry about it. But that's what I like about Batman. It's like choose your own adventure. I have a Batman canon in my head. There's never been a run of
absolutely.
Batman.
I get it. Like,
gone from point A to point B. But I like that I
get it. Like
choose.
I'm like, as much as, like I said, I'd never like, just DC was never really my thing for whatever reason. But I love Marvel. I love those comic books. It's like I said, I'm reading through them at the moment. Like, and it's like, because there's bits like during the Avengers Disassembled storyline where like there's a really awesome Captain America and Falcon run. And at the exact same time that's going on, apparently Captain America is also at Asgard helping Thor with the start of Ragnarok. It's like, you're never mentioning this. Like, and so it is, you kind of really got to like switch off with it and just accept that, wait, no, this isn't all done by one person. And that's kind of what's great about Walking Dead. And that's kind of also what's great about Marvel and DC is that like there are 100 different versions of Captain America or Batman or Spider-Man or whoever. Like, and it's your choice as to who your superhero, like who your Batman is. Because like, your Batman might be Frank Miller's Batman. It might be Frank Miller's like very like Frank Miller wrote Year One, right?
Yep.
Yeah, like that kind of like and Dark Knight Rises as well. Like it might be that dark, violent, nasty, horrible Batman. Your Batman might be Joel Schumacher's Batman. It might be Bat Credit Card. Like it's that's the fun of it. Whereas if you like Walking Dead, your Rick is your Rick is your Rick. Like there is no difference. Like so yeah, I think there are places for both in this world.
And there is, I mean, and this goes for just about any comic book movie or thing, I just look for one good moment because I've read a lot of shitty comic books, but like as long as there's that one just like pure fucking Batman moment, like in Flashpoint, you get him getting a letter from his dad and he fucking cries, and it's like that is a fucking awesome Batman moment.
I hate and love it. I hate it because it hits me too hard in the feels.
It's Batman
I'm like,
I cry. That's the only thing in the universe that gets me to cry anymore.
It's the only thing that makes me feel.
I'm like, oh, a relative died? I don't fucking care. Oh, what's Batman crying about? What did Robin say to him? That shit. Batman
got a letter from his alternate future dad? Yes, I need this. All right. We gotta stop. This is the long. We've been going for like 2 hours. This is the longest episode of Nostalgia on the Rocks I think we may ever do, unless we get you back on here to talk about Marvel stuff. Like that. Because that's the thing. We touched
nearly as long, but we should have started with Marvel. Because I can't.
We should have started with Civil War and Deadpool and Spider-Man, and then moved over. But I digress. It's a lot of fun. Hell, it seems like according to the chat, we need to get Ellie 8-bits in here for the Marvel stuff. Because according to her, Superman can lose to at least to any 2 Marvel characters, which are outside your fucking mind, by the way. All right, I don't care how strong.
I will happily have like Ellie 8-bit sitting down there, like, and we will fight you. We will fight you on this. Like Marvel, like Marvel's better than DC.
In what regard? What do you mean by that statement?
It's just better. It's just more fun. We got better characters. Our characters have flaws. Your characters are impossible to beat and billionaires. Fuck that.
Tony Stark's a billionaire. Don't pull the billionaire card.
I was gonna say, do we need to talk about your do we need to talk about Mr. Fantastic?
Whoop-de-doo.
You're I'm so sorry. Do we need to get into the Marvel Cosmic? Do we need to get into that shit show? No, none of our guys. At least our people have flaws. Do we need to talk about the fucking Silver Surfer? The Phoenix Force? Galactus, if you will. Hell, let's talk about the Sentry, which the only reason the Sentry can get beat is by his literal literally like a different color scheme, like fucking Ryu and Dark Ryu. That's the only thing that beats Century is Dark Ryu. That's it. All right, fuck off with that noise.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, it's better. We have things. Really? Venom. How did Venom come about? Oh, because the symbiote. Oh, how did the symbiote get? Oh, well, that was the thing called the World. And oh, what do you mean a World? Well, all the heroes got pulled out of this dimension to then go fight in a game. Fuck you, all right? That shit is fucking ridiculous. And then the whole point was Superman or Spider-Man didn't even realize that was a symbiote. That was just a costume machine. That's what the superheroes thought it was. It was a costume machine. And that's how he got the black suit, which the whole reason he got a black suit was why? Oh yeah, so that way the artist didn't have to draw it so fucking much. And also, toys, because now you get to make Spider-Man with a black suit and it looks dope. And then what happens? Oh, it's a suit. Oh, Mr. Fantastic says, hey, that's not a suit, that's a thing. You should probably not wear that. Oh, what do? We wear it fucking anyway. And that didn't fucking make him angry or rage-filled until the Tobey Maguire fucking movies all of a sudden made that a goddamn thing. And then what happens? You get Venom, which
we're bringing
Toby.
Itself. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Nostalgia on the Rocks.
Thank you. Yeah, we're looping it all the way back around to Tobey Maguire. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Nostalgia on the Rocks. Thank you guys so much. I am your friendly neighborhood Paul, and of course, as always, my lovely, the moustached maniac of Tetris himself, ProbablyOliver. ProbablyOliver, where can they find you? I pointed the wrong way. I'm sorry, I mirrored. Where can they find you?
Twitch.tv/ProbablyOliver. You'll find me over there. We have a hell of a time over there. Like this is an absolute pleasure doing this with you, Paul. Like what we're 4 official episodes deep in now, and it only took us 4 episodes to go completely off the fucking rails.
You know what the bad thing is? We didn't even talk comedy. I told Slob ahead of time. I was like, yeah, we'll probably have touch on your stand-up comedy and stuff. Nope. That's next time. We're gonna have to bring you in for a part 2. We'll bring you in for a part 2.
Yeah, anytime. Just let me know.
Oh yeah.
Bet.
Oh, yeah.
Bet. And then of course the one and only SuburbaniteSlob. Where can they find you?
I stream over at twitch.tv/SuburbaniteSlob. It's as hard to remember as it's spell. Also, there's some YouTube stuff, youtube.com/SuburbaniteSlob. I'm kind of between. I started a new job, so my schedule's kind of iffy now. So we're getting there. We'll figure out a schedule. Otherwise, follow me on Twitter at Alex Weber Comedy, and that's where you'll find anything I do. I'll promote the hell out of it.
You guys will find all the links to this stuff down in the description for YouTube. If you guys are not already following him, please go over there, follow him. He plays a lot of Halo. He does a lot of funny bits. SuburbaniteSlob is literally one of the most amazing people I've ever met. Because of him, I actually got to start talking to Stack Up, which is another charity organization, which is something I totally was going to talk to you about on this episode, but unfortunately I can't. I have the little T-Rex from the last one I did sitting right there. Yep. Fuck it.
You want to make them kiss? Should they meet each other?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you no Stack Up when you're a streamer, stream with Stack Up. You get a nice little plushie.
Yeah, you
get a nice plushie. Fantastic.
Yeah,
they send you a picture of what they sent veterans because of the donations that you raised, with like a piece of paper that says your channel on it. Like you get a picture of like, here is the veteran that physically got this single-handedly because of you, and it just feels so good.
Yeah, they're a phenomenal charity thing, and I know I'm gonna be doing mine in September, which I've already started working stuff out on. We're gonna be doing military coins. We're gonna be doing patches. I'm definitely gonna bring Slav in there because we're probably gonna play Halo at some point, so that means I need the guy who can actually play Halo in there, so that way whenever people start turning fucking skulls on, I know who did it last time. I'm looking at you. You know who you are. They start fucking turning skulls on to where when you die, you got to restart the whole God blessed checkpoint.
I think I'll be doing mine sometime around Memorial Day next month. I'm
next month. So definitely check that out. Definitely check out SuburbaniteSlob. Thank you so much for being here, my man. And like I said, all the links that he said to find him are going to be down in the description. It is going to be a hell of a time. But thank you guys so much for being here. We really do appreciate it. I know this has been a long one. This is going to be a fun one to edit. No, I ain't even editing this. I'm gonna cut to the intro. We're cutting the outro, and that's it. Everything else is staying in here. This is the Paul cut. This is the FNHPaul cut of this episode. But thank you guys so very much. I appreciate you guys. So one last cheers to you. If you guys are getting the vaccines, hell yeah. Thank you guys so very much. But as always, have a good one. Stay safe. Thank you for your time.